Want to know where you're going? First, you need to know where you've been. 88 at the Garden. Had the Big Apple bumping. These old school legends, man, they kicked SummerSlam into high gear. You talking gritty? Let's talk 95 in Steel City. Temperatures accelerated. All new heights. 2013 had superstars tearing through Tinseltown. Did you see him? Tonight, we make history. In our city, Motor City. At SummerSlam, I end this.
This guy wants a match with me so he can go viral.
The family civil war has just been taken up a notch. This is tribal combat now. That means anything goes.
It ain't all pistons and parties. In the 313, nothing comes free. About time to top off and crank that f***ing horsepower.
I'm gonna fight like a G. They all go see. And as I die, I'm gonna die free.
It's going to be for the WWE Women's Championship.
I am set. Fasten your seatbelt. It is about to go down.
Detroit,
Let's ride!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters. Ruthless aggression.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of Podcast Championship Wrestling PCW. I am your host, Wayne. You also may know me as Semi-Dry Chicken. And people,
Let me talk to you!
we have to wrap up the hottest pay-per-view of the summer, SummerSlam. Over 59,194 people attended SummerSlam. That is a hell of a lot. But you know what? We got two co-hosts, so let's bring them on. Ooh, that was a hot one, Dre. Welcome back.
You, what it do, PCW crew?
All right. And our third co-host. Doyle.
Oh, it's me. It's the Doyle, and it's Monday night. You know what that means. It means we're having a hurricane.
That's right. A hurricane here on the east side. I think it just passed me. Like, it's that or I'm in the eye of it. I can't tell. I don't know what the weather's like where Dre's at.
Lovely. Sunny, warm, humid as fuck. But other than that, great.
Yeah. Tonight we'll be reviewing SummerSlam from this year. We already did the predictions episode. Now we're going to do the post. Talk about all the fun things that happened in this 4+ hour pay-per-view. Holy hell. 4 hours and 10 minutes. It was a hell of a long pay-per-view. I just watched WrestleMania 4 the other day, and that was a little over 4 hours. I don't think I've had a long... It feels like it hasn't been a long SummerSlam in a while. But yeah, this weekend, when I was playing SummerSlam, I decided to do something a little different. And I decided to put it outside, have the fire pit going, and put it up on the projector screen. That's probably the best way I've gone about watching a pay-per-view. And I would say maybe the worst version of me watching a pay-per-view is probably on a tablet. I don't think it's any worse than that. Watching it on this is back before the network. Watching it on streaming channels, you could find it before it got found and shut down.
I was about to say, yeah, there are worse ways to watch a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view.
That's how I usually end up watching it. This is one of the rare ones where I actually got to watch it at home live. I'm usually watching on my phone at work, so I got silly employees bothering me. And
oh yeah, what would you say is probably
I
your
usually
worst
have to go back
way?
and watch it a second time.
What would you say was your worst way of watching a pay-per-view?
Oh, if anybody of a certain age can remember back in the days of old cable television turned into the Scramble channel, where you couldn't see shit.
Oh,
but
that's
maybe
how
you
I
might
saw
get
the Undertaker debut.
where you might get a full image for maybe a fraction of a second and maybe a little bit of audio, and that's how you watched, quote unquote, a pay-per-view. Yeah, that's how I used to watch old WCW pay-per-views. I think I watched Sting win his first title at the Great American Bash 1990 that way.
Yep.
Literally just sitting by the TV, trying to pick up whatever little bit of sound I can, looking at a completely scrambled image.
Yeah.
That's how we used to watch the Playboy channel. Remember the Playboy channel? I think I saw a titty. I think I saw
in the Spice channel, yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is probably probably some of the worst ways we've had to go through watching them. I don't know if it was it was probably WrestleMania, I want to say 21 or 20. Back in the day when you had to order it on your cable box, we ordered it a few hours ahead of time, but wasn't thinking. We ordered it on the smaller TV upstairs, thinking that it would go to all the cable boxes, and that was definitely not true. So we had to, it wasn't on the big screen TV that was downstairs, and we were like, son of a bitch, we all have to jam into this small ass room to watch WrestleMania. That was memorable. Multiple times, I think I've watched that Hooters back in the day, the Ruthless Aggression era, back when they used to have pay-per-views in bars. I don't think they even do that anymore.
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah, for late Attitude Era, maybe early Ruthless Aggression era. Yep, going to Hooters. Me and my homeboys used to always go up there every month.
Yep.
Honestly, probably one of the best wrestling pay-per-view experiences I had was at a Hooters when what was it? No Way Out.
You said one of the best experiences I had. I said, I bet it was.
Yeah, I mean, setting aside the staff, which hit and miss depending on what Hooters you go to. But at the time, the one we had was decent enough. Wasn't the best one in the area though. But anyway, like I said, one of the best experiences was I think it was No Way Out 2004. I think it was, whichever one it was, where Eddie Guerrero won the championship off Brock Lesnar. Okay. I saw that one at Hooters, and the entire restaurant was just lit for that whole match. And when fucking Eddie dropped Lesnar and got up there and hit that frog splash, and the whole restaurant just counting 1, 2, 3, and everybody just stood up and started celebrating. That was pretty dope.
I saw
we were all live as fuck for Eddie.
I saw the streak die at Hooters. out of all places to see the Undertaker's streak go, it was at Hooters. And I remember, like, there's definitely a lot of people, and I'm sure other people have seen it when they've gone and seen it at wrestler bars and stuff, but, like, you got other people there who aren't into wrestling. But as the pay-per-view progresses, people get a little bit more drunk. By the end of the night, the main event comes, everybody who's there is into it. Because when we were watching, Brock Lesnar, attempt to kick out multiple times, before ending the streak. Like, when that streak ended, like, everybody in the bar was quiet. I've also seen Shawn Michaels' career end at Hooters, and also Ric Flair's, all at WrestleMania. Just memorable moments, I guess. But yeah, I would say, like, now that we can watch wrestling in, like, 4K, nice HD quality, younger people take it for advantage sometimes. Like, we had to suffer. Pay-per-views were super expensive back then.
Yeah, y'all don't know the struggle.
Don't know the struggle before the app, before Peacock picked it up. I was so happy when WWE Network was coming as an app. I pre-ordered that app. I was like, you're telling me I don't gotta spend $65 a month? Like, I can pay $9.99? Like, okay.
Oh yeah, that's how much it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
$9.99.
Like,
yeah,
they beat us over the head with that,
right? You're like,
shove that down your throat.
Given what prices Disney Plus are, Netflix, Amazon Prime, you gotta give it to WWE. As low key as us WWE fans, $9.99 was pretty fucking good for all this paper.
Well, shit, all the back catalog too.
Back catalog, yeah, I thought it was.
That's why I used to appreciate it.
It was so much easier to navigate.
Yeah.
Back on the net when it was the network, when it was online or whatever. Because this Peacock's still a fucking mess trying to find something. If you're looking for like a specific thing,
yep,
it can be really fucking hard to find.
Yeah, like everything's in seasons now. They're not, or episodes.
Yeah, I feel like the network used to be like, I want to see the Rick
whatever
Martel
year it was,
Jake the Snake or whatever, and you can, if you type that in, you see every televised match that was available.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Oh man, just how much pay-per-view format has just changed over the years. So much better. Fucking young kids have no idea. But
that's why I used. But back in the day, that's what I used to appreciate about WCW back in the day, because every other month they would give you Clash of the Champions, which was a pay-per-view quality event, except it was totally free on network television. Those were the motherfucking days. Those Clash of the Champions were great.
So yeah, anyway, SummerSlam. You know what, Dre, I'm going to let you take the wheel of the post pay-per-view breakdown. This is you're going to be the captain of the ship, sir. Ahoy, take over.
All right. Well, like I said, SummerSlam took place this past Saturday from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan, and it appeared to have been a very successful event for WWE based upon the numbers. They announced recently that SummerSlam smashed all their revenue records for a non-WrestleMania event. It generated about $8.5 million at the gate, plus another $7 million in sponsorships from companies like C4, Rocket Mortgage, and Slim Jim. And is also one of the 3 highest rated PLE broadcasts on Peacock, while also breaking previous records in merchandise sales. So basically, this thing was an absolute gold mine for the WWE. But I don't might give a damn about none of that shit. We here to talk about the matches. So let's go ahead and hop into the first match that took place on the pay-per-view, which was not Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, Cody's on TV right now. But Logan Paul versus Ricochet, which kicked off the pay-per-view. Which, for me, it was a good kickoff match. Obviously, Ricochet, Logan Paul, they both are high flyers, good performers in the ring. And they did a good job of getting the crowd hyped up, starting off on a high note. I was a bit disappointed to see Logan Paul win, even though I kind of figured as much would happen because, dude kind of needed a dub. And he really hammed it up after he won. Like, pointing over to Samantha Irwin, who, props to her for the acting job that she did, with looking genuinely disappointed that she had to announce Logan Paul's victory. Like, they put out videos of her, like, as the match was ending, and she looked genuinely distraught and upset of having to announce Logan Paul as the winner, like, even having a little lip quiver. I was like, okay, props to you. Nice little acting job. Because you can't be genuinely upset that Ricochet lost his match, because it ain't like you ain't seen that before.
It's funny because it's true.
Right. So, props to her.
Yeah.
But, like I said, overall, it was a decent match to kick off the show. So, Wayne, what'd you think of the match?
You know what? Like, I kind of wanted to see these two guys do a one-on-one match for a while. They've done a lot of high spots together in the Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank ladder matches. So it was really nice to see these two together, just one-on-one. I think it was a great decision to have it kick off the pay-per-view. It was, you got two high flyers, two guys who are going to bring a lot of energy. And, like him or not, like him or hate him, Logan Paul brings the energy, the prime energy. He was, it looked like he was handing out to some people in the crowd. I don't, the match aside, there was no real botches or anything. A lot of high spots, tons of DDTs and hurricanranas and high spots off of high places, Like, this is where you're going to get all your high energy flips for the night. And if you want brawlers, we're going to get that later. But this is where all the high flyers were, all the energy. But I feel like with Ricochet losing this match, was there really any payoff at all? Having his girlfriend involved at all, just because she's the ring announcer? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, was the payoff worth it?
Well, I see what you're saying. I think it was just kind of done just to put extra heat on Logan Paul. Yeah. Just to really help emphasize just how much of a dick he really is. Uh-huh. But given what happened, let me pose this question to you.
Yeah.
Do you want to see this feud continue past SummerSlam? Would you like to see, this match continue? Maybe we get a part 2 and Ricochet come out on top. Maybe lead into a rubber match part 3. Just, would you like to see this feud continue?
Honestly, they could. Yeah, they could put on a different style match down the road if they want to make this a 3-match feud. I mean, we're getting a nice solid 3-match feud with Cody and Brock, which we'll talk about later. But to get another feud out there that's going to last a couple pay-per-views that really there's no title involved, it's going to keep us interested, then why not? It might elevate both these guys, being able to have a feud. Because having a one-off, I really just think it's, Logan Paul finally got a W. I mean, it's been, I can't remember the last time he had one was against The Miz, I think. So, it's much needed for him. So, either way, I'm fine with it either way.
Yeah, cool. Doyle, where are you at on this match? What you think?
When will Logan Paul make it to Dallas before his brother's boxing match is the most intriguing part of the match. That's kind of a problem, yeah. Right? This was fine. It was actually good to see Logan Paul doing some basic wrestling moves. Like, he's kind of learning how this works, right? It's not all just big high spots with him. So I saw a little progression there. That was good. It was probably a little long, I thought. Although the right guy won, Logan really needed a pay-per-view win here. I really enjoyed him taunting Samantha Irvin. You mentioned the lip quiver. So you asked, would you want to see this continue? If she's involved, maybe. That might be kind of fun. If they had another match and, Logan gets to take her on a date or something, and you can kind of run that angle where they're at dinner and she hates it and, kind of similar to what you we've seen that angle before.
Yeah, I thought about that in a decent proposal type of thing.
Yeah, like so that might be kind of fun. They say old wrestling adage, right? You don't need to go over to get over. So hopefully that's the track for Ricochet here. And we better see something out of him that we haven't seen new tonight on Raw. He's got to be able to capitalize on this somehow. All the in-ring talent in the world, but his sports entertaining has left a little to be desired, I think. So if he's going to level up, now's the time to do it with him.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you. And speaking of seeing something, what the fuck is Seth Rollins wearing tonight?
Seth Rollins looks like he looks like how Chris Jericho used to dress, with all the glitter, the one pieces, with the glasses. What's up with the glasses?
Damn, the glasses. Look at them Astro Boy Crocs.
They are Crocs.
Oh my gosh. Seth Rollins always wearing the most unique outfits. Every
shop at the same store, I think.
I have always called Seth Rollins the drip god, but even I got to look at this one like, bruh. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I respect that man's bravery.
One of you guys mentioned Logan Paul handing out Prime to people or something.
Yeah.
There was a kid right by the corner near where the ramp ended and into the outside the ring area began, and Logan took a drink from him, I think, and then Cody hugged him. And does anybody know who that kid was? Is there a story there?
I don't know if there was a story there. I haven't heard anything.
Was the kid just in the right place?
Lucky as hell, maybe.
Yeah.
Did anybody see who it was that handed Logan Paul the brass knuckles?
No, it looked like an absolute nobody.
They showed the guy, but they never said who it was or anything.
Yeah, it looked like a nobody. Nobody that I recognized.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't worth acknowledging after they tried to make a big deal out of the last guy who showed up and that landed like a wet fart.
Yep. Yeah. Who are you? Nobody remembers.
I mean, they made it such a big deal in that match. Like, it's so-and-so. And everybody's like, who?
Prime energy drink.
That isn't KRS-One. Wait a minute.
Right.
What was his name? KRB or something? It was very similar to that.
I don't know. KGB, KYB.
I heard KRS-One, and I'm like, that's not KRS-One.
Right. I don't know. I guess you have to be under 18 and live on social media to know who the hell that was, but
yeah.
For being an opening match, they had 18 minutes. That's not bad for Ricochet. When was the last time Ricochet had an 18-minute match? Even when he main evented that Saudi show, I don't think he had 18 minutes with Brock.
I think they could have lost 4 or 5 and been just fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And honestly, after seeing it,
night, really.
Yeah, because after seeing how long that match went, I was like, oh, this is going to be a long-ass pay-per-view. Yeah. If they giving these boys this much time to cook, and it's the opening match.
Yeah.
They cut matches, and it's great that they gave everybody time, but sometimes not everything needs to be fucking 25, 30 minutes,
Right.
Sometimes 6-8 minutes or whatever is all you need, even if it's a pay-per-view match.
I know we have 9 on the card, but it's a 4-hour pay-per-view, and I don't know if you guys see on social media right now with the women's division, there's 41 women on the roster, and there was only 5 or 6. There really wasn't a lot of women involved on the pay-per-view.
Right.
No, in the pay-per-view itself, essentially, it was only 5. There was the 3 women involved in 7 if you add in.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a technicality. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 8 if you add in Rhea's interference in the World Championship match, plus Bayley and Io in the triple threat match, and then the 5 women who actually wrestled matches.
Yeah.
There was 155 minutes of non-wrestling on this show. It's almost 2 hours. That's 40-45% of the show.
That's promo footage and
right promo. They didn't even exits.
It wasn't like the London show where we actually got a whole John Cena segment. or anything like that. This was just long ass matches and breaks in between.
They cut matches so that to give it more better flow or whatever. But then they let everything go on too long and waste a shit ton of time. It's like you very easily could have squeezed Trish, Becky in there, or Rhea Raquel in there. I mean, maybe not both of them, but you could have easily snuck at least one of them in there, I think.
Well,
definitely depending on if they actually were good to go. Because I know it's been a very much a contentious debate online about the Becky Trish match and the Rhea Raquel match being cut from the pay-per-view. But it seems I can't really nail down for certain if Raquel and Trish are legitimately injured or not. It seems like with Trish,
I don't believe that.
I don't think it's the case for Raquel, but I think Trish is legitimately injured as far as her nose is. I think she legitimately has a nose injury.
Yeah,
because it's just the way it's bruised up. I don't think that's makeup. I think that's legit. Raquel might be up for debate. So if they cut it because Trish was legit injured and they pushed it back just to give her more time to heal, then, as much as we may all bemoan the lack of women's matches, those are the breaks sometimes. If injuries are a part of the sport, they're pretty much 100% guaranteed and almost 100% guaranteed to fuck up plans if anybody's kept up with the latest news regarding the women's tag division. Mm-hmm. And Raquel, I don't know if her knee injury is legitimate or not. But again, if it is, then, you just kind of got to, those are the breaks.
Everything I saw said that everyone is healthy, and it was purely just to explain why the match isn't happening at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Purely storyline, from what I was led to believe.
Right. That's the thing. It's conflicting information.
Dude,
I kind of wish they would just definitively say something. I know Triple H offered up an answer or a rebuttal to the complaints in the press conference post SummerSlam, but again, say something a bit more concrete and definitive. Mm-hmm. If they're legit injured, okay. If it's not, and you just chose to cut them for pacing reasons or whatever, then say that. But I don't know. With this kind of lack of definitive information either way, it's just leaving everything up for people to misinterpret things and maybe rightly or wrongly be upset about situations.
Well, if only you had somewhere to let your voice be heard about it.
I know, right? well, but let's move on to the next match, which took place on the pay-per-view, which was Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. And the rubber match to, settle this feud once and for all. Uh-huh. Which, surprisingly, was just a regular match. I know going into this, a lot of people speculated and thought there would have been some sort of stipulation or something added onto it just to kind of elevate things, but nope. It turned out to be a regular old match, which, for all intents and purposes, probably should have caused Brock Lesnar to win the match, given that at one point in this match, Cody Rhodes took steel steps right in front of the goddamn referee and cracked the shit out of Brock Lesnar with him.
DQ match for Cody.
Right. I mean, regular ass match, but we just hey, ref, watch this. Bam. Steel steps to the shoulder. The refs are I ain't see shit. But otherwise, this match was just, it was okay. I get that, they tried to tell a story in the match with, Brock just beating the living shit out of Cody and Cody refusing to stay down. But the way they told the story was just so goddamn boring. For that, the middle of that match just absolutely dragged. Basically, Brock fucked Cody up, tossed him out the ring. Referee starts a 10 count. Cody comes back in at the last minute. Brock grabs him, German suplex. Cody falls out the ring again. Referee starts another 10 count. Cody comes back in at the last minute. Brock Germans his ass again back out the ring. Stay down this time. And he comes back. And they literally did that for like 10 minutes of the match. Was just that. And that would just, that really just dragged the whole fucking match down before they eventually got to the finish. And, things kind of picked up a little bit, but not really enough to really save the overall match, in my opinion. And Brock Lesnar did a terrible job of selling those crossroads. Those shits were executed quite terribly. But Cody Rhodes got the win, and afterwards, and what was supposedly a genuine moment, not kayfabe at all, Brock Lesnar acknowledged Cody Rhodes, shook his hand, and raised his arms in the ring, which, again, according to Triple H, was a pure, genuine moment of just Brock Lesnar breaking kayfabe and giving Cody Rhodes his props, which that moment in itself I thought was nice. Some people try to say that it was Brock Lesnar passing the torch, which that really doesn't make any goddamn sense when you think about it. But Brock Lesnar acknowledging Cody Rhodes' toughness and Cody having earned Brock's respect like that, that was good. That was a good moment. And something that you don't really see too often in wrestling anymore, where guys can just compete, go at it, and then, shake each other's hand afterwards. I just wish the match before that moment would have been better. But, it is what it is. Doyle, what'd you think of it?
Again, you said okay, right? I thought this was okay. This feud went like almost exactly beat for beat the way I expected it to from the moment Cody announced Brock as his partner on Raw and Brock turned on him. It's just super formulaic feud, super formulaic match. Brock and Cody basically wrestled the same match, but just different sides of it, right? Brock beats the shit out of a guy. He makes his comeback. Brock either puts him away or loses. Cody gets his ass kicked, makes his comeback. He either puts the guy away or he loses. They both have the same match. We've seen this a million times, not necessarily against each other, but we've seen Cody have this match and we've seen Brock have this match over and over and over. There seems to be so much love for this match online, and I just don't get it. And we mentioned the DQ. The handshake was nice, but it didn't quite make up for it. It was too little too late for me at that point. I think the Crossroads is a shitty finisher. There, I said it. It doesn't look good. I don't care how many in a row he does. It's stupid. It doesn't... it's one of those moves where, like, it almost looks like it hurts Cody just as much as it hurts the opponent. It doesn't. Right.
It doesn't look impactful.
Yeah. I mean, Dre, you said it was boring. You were right. I agree with you. This was boring.
Yeah. The one thought I did have with the handshake afterwards is, it was a thing of Brock showing Cody respect. I also kind of wondered. Because for a moment, I thought when I thought it was a kayfabe moment, I wondered if they were doing that to kind of set up Brock being an actual babyface the next time we see him, whenever they decided.
I mean, he was allegedly. He was supposedly like slapping hands and stuff on the way out. I don't know that they showed that on television, but I read a live report that said on his way back down the ramp, he was slapping hands and stuff. So yeah, that's some good detective work if that, in fact, is what happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Brock coming back as a babyface. He's done the heel monster thing long enough, and I think he's given the rub to pretty much all the top guys in the WWE who need it from him. So, if we're getting towards the twilight, and we also don't know how much longer Brock's going to continue to do this. So, if he comes back for maybe one last run or two, and where he's just a babyface and can, let the fans give him his love and give him his flowers on his way out, and maybe do some tag teams or team ups or what have you. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, well, he's one of those rare guys that you can turn him back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and you don't really need much more reason than, we need him to be a heel in this feud, or we need him to be a face in this feud. I think the crowd respects him enough to boo him if he's supposed to be booed, or cheer for him if he's supposed to be cheered. sometimes they try to turn somebody, they've tried to turn Ronda face. How did that work?
Right.
Not very well. Brock, you can flip him and flip him and flip him and flip him and flip him, Big Show level, back and forth and back and forth. And it doesn't really matter, He's believable as either.
Yeah, definitely. He can be whatever they need him to be at whatever moment. That's kind of what's helped him last as long. But Wayne, hop in here. What'd you think of the match?
Yeah, but before I give you my thoughts, real quick, I just want to talk about what's going on Raw right now. You want to pick 4 guys that really have nothing to do with each other, but are really good wrestlers. You just pick 4 random guys from this roster and put them in the ring for a fatal 4-way. You got Chad Gable.
Is this for anything?
No. Not that I know of. I have been reading the subtitles. Matt Riddle, Tommaso Ciampa, and Ricochet. Fatal 4-way.
Does this answer the question? What is Ricochet doing? Just going back to being a goober? Is that? I
don't think a goober, because these are 4 guys who could put on a pretty damn good match. I'm not watching.
Does Riddle have a mustache also? Am I saying this right?
I don't think Riddle has a mustache. I don't think
I don't think so.
But
he's in the fucking doghouse, by the way.
Oh, exactly. And I'd hate to say it, but
he ain't winning.
He put himself there.
Yeah,
he put himself there. When you show yourself to be unreliable, why is the company going to invest in you in any major way?
Yeah. But
I thought he was poised for a fucking big year too. And then
he was.
Then he got suspended. Started showing his dick on the internet.
Yeah, he seemed to have a good amount of momentum. People wondered if he could stand on his own without Randy Orton, and he got into that feud with Seth Rollins, which worked out pretty well. He came out on top in the Fight Pit match. Seemed like he was set maybe to become at least a solid mid-carder, and who knows where he could have gone from there. And then shit went left.
So you guys want to hear my opinion on this match?
Yep.
I know we can trail off so much when we're watching Monday Night Raw while we're reviewing a pay-per-view. But, okay. Is the story complete? Is this finally a story that Cody Rhodes has been able to complete since his return back to WWE? His story for the heavyweight title, the WWE Championship, is kind of floundering, but I think beating Brock Lesnar is going to keep his head afloat in that main event scene still. So, he's hovering right underneath Roman Reigns. I think if he would have lost this feud, where does Cody go from here? But I think he needed this win for sure. And, the match wasn't glorious. There's, like you said, too many crossroads. I think I had counted 3 in a row. Yeah, 2 Cody Cutters. We got 2 Kimura locks. We have an F5 through a table. Suplexes all over the place. So I kind of agree with the crossroads, but the continuously doing 3 of them makes it seem, because every time they do the 3, somebody kicks out of them anyway, for the most part, and it makes it seem that it's so weak that you constantly need to do 3, and people are still kicking out. But it was nice seeing Brock Lesnar kind of letting somebody like Cody get over. And now, the old cowboy can just, pass on through. I don't know, whatever we have for Brock Lesnar in the future. I don't know who he's going to feud with. LA Knight at some point? You think he'll get a rub from LA Knight at some point? I mean, that's somebody who's never crossed paths.
They're on different shows, and they're both faces.
Yeah. And Brock going with a face turn. Where does he go from here? So, take another crack at Omos?
We know where Brock goes from here. Home.
Yeah, I think Brock goes to Minnesota or wherever the hell he lives. Hangs out for a couple months.
But,
until the next time they need him for something, or the Saudis cut that check for him to come over there and have some match with somebody.
By the way, I think this might be for a shot at Gunther, this 4-way, because they showed him awkwardly
watching backstage,
watching TV at a weird angle.
But keeps Cody afloat. I just don't know where he goes from here. Maybe it looks like I guess we'll kick off Raw, whatever he's going to be doing, maybe a program with Seth Rollins soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just going to have him tread water. He might lose a match or two here or there, but he won't lose a feud. They're just waiting to get him back to Roman somehow. Yep. I don't know if that's going to be. God, I hope it's not him winning the Rumble again. Yep. But I don't know how they do it. But they'll get him back to Roman somehow. Yeah. And up until then, he's just treading water, I think.
Yeah. Problem is with Roman being on SmackDown and Cody being on Raw, kind of the only way they can get him back there would be for him to have to win the Rumble again, which, yeah, I know that's pretty far ahead, but I would kind of like to see somebody else get that. But at the same time, I also don't know who on the roster is in the position to get that. Because one thing that WWE has not really done a good job of in the last maybe year and some change, they haven't really done a good job of elevating anybody new into the main event scene. Pretty much, as it stands right now, pretty much all the people who were main event players last year, and arguably maybe even the year before, are still the same main event players. And those people who have been in the mid card are still mid carders. Like, nobody's really elevated themselves. The only person you could really argue who's maybe elevated from mid card to main event level is Gunther, but he's currently the Intercontinental Champion.
Yep.
You might say that about Sammy.
No,
yes, you could make an argument for Sammy being main event level, but
to your point, they're few and far between. I would absolutely agree.
You can make that argument, but at the same time, we haven't seen him come back to that level since his match with Roman. He's become a tag champion, and that their tag title run has been kind of mid, and it seems like it's in limbo now with Kevin Owens' apparent injury. So maybe we'll see what Sami Zayn does on his own as a singles competitor. Maybe he does step back into the main event pictures. So I mean, he's valid. I don't know if anybody can see him winning the Royal Rumble next year, but I think that still might be a bit of a stretch. But yeah, either way, let's not get sidetracked too much with that.
What's the next one?
That's still a long ways off, and we got a lot that can happen between now and then.
That's for sure.
So, something that's probably more interesting than talking about the Royal Rumble next year, the MMA rules match. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler.
Oh, wait, did we get the Battle Royal?
Oh, that's right. The Battle Royal did happen. That's right. Right. Skip right over that. Yeah, the LA Knight Invitational, also known as the SummerSlam Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Which saw everybody who ain't had shit else to do, plus LA Knight and AJ Styles, who were the only ones who actually got televised introductions, and a Battle Royale, which started and then was immediately interrupted by MVP, who announced that Omos is also going to be a part of this. And he came out there and did typical Omos things. And by typical Omos things, I mean beat up a whole lot of people and then failed to close the deal by getting eliminated. And from there, everybody beat up on each other. Came down to the final two people, Sheamus and LA Knight, with LA Knight coming out on top. Exactly how pretty much we all expected. So this happened. I can't really say that it's anything noteworthy.
This happened.
Yeah. Like, nothing noteworthy happened from it. Like, they didn't even really use the Battle Royale to tell any of the subplots that have been happening on the main shows. Hey, shout out to Chad Gable. He won the Fatal 4-Way. Looks like he's going to get an IC title match against Gunther. That should be a really good match. But, yeah, like I said, there were people in this match who have storylines going on the main shows, and none of them played out in this Battle Royal. I feel like that was just a missed opportunity. Like, Shinsuke Nakamura and Bronson Reed and Tommaso Ciampa were in this match, and, like, they didn't do that. They didn't do nothing with them. Like, they were just in it. So again,
I think we bemoaned the lack of stakes, right? When we were previewing this, and I remember thinking it might be kind of funny if the winner gets a Slim Jim commercial, and then
lo and behold,
and then sure enough, I thought that was pretty funny.
Honestly,
like, sometimes like if there's Bianca's entrance was sponsored or whatever. I feel like sometimes if we have, I think recently we've bemoaned lack of stakes in a lot of things lately. I think like something like that, like a real world kind of thing, like, oh, you're going to get this endorsement contract, something like that on the line is an easy way to make something that's just kind of a little more interesting. Right. Or this is for a fucking car, like let's have these two guys fight over a car or something, like.
Sure. I mean, you're not wrong. Like, you're not wrong at all. Like, even if the stakes are seemingly petty or insignificant, seemingly, just the fact that it exists, it adds something to the match. Like, they could have called this a Slim Jim Battle Royale, for which the winner gets an endorsement deal with Slim Jim. Sure, we probably would have all still been like, okay, LA Knight's about to do Slim Jim commercials, right. And maybe they could have had a number of them, or maybe if they had planned this out in advance, they could have recorded a couple of Slim Jim commercials, like guys trying out for it, like seeing
how funny would the Viking Raiders be doing?
Right? They could have run. Right, they could have run a couple of like Slim Jim commercials with random superstars beforehand, saying like, hey, the execs at Slim Jim are giving everybody a test run, seeing how things go, and then you get to the Battle Royale where everybody fights to see who actually becomes it, and then the winner is obviously LA Knight, and then you run that commercial afterwards with him and Bianca, and at least it flows and it makes sense. And even if it's not the biggest title stakes on it, it's still some stakes in something that matters, perhaps to the wrestlers. It gives them a reason to actually compete. But yeah, like honestly, for me, the commercial was more. I enjoyed the commercial more than I did this Battle Royal itself, especially with the cutbacks to OG Macho Man Slim Jim commercials. Yeah. That was a real nice touch of nostalgia, and I'm glad that they included that in those commercials as well. The way of bridging the gap from the old to the new. But Wayne, hop in here. What'd you think of the Battle Royal?
Oh yeah!
Oh, it was so nice seeing the Macho Man come back into the Slim Jim. Come on, man. Every time you think of Slim Jim, who do you think of? You think of the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. The cream of the crop always rises to the top. Can you dig it? Gotta remember the Slim Jim commercials. Those are my favorite. So it was nice seeing like a newer, updated one finally. But it's always nice to see,
oh, yeah!
the Macho Man in those. They could even give him the winner of this Battle Royal like a box of Slim Jims, a year's supply of Slim Jims. Nothing. Just momentum in their own little world. No title shots, nothing. But it went to the right person. It went to. I think we all predicted who it was going to go to. I did like down to the Fatal 4 who they had left. I don't know, you can kind of predict that early on when it gets down to the nitty gritty. But they had the last, I think Sheamus was the last guy?
Came down to Sheamus and LA Knight, yeah.
The last two guys.
I wanted Chad Gable to be one of the final four.
Yeah,
but he didn't make it, unfortunately.
But, he lasted pretty long. I mean, what's going on right now on Monday Night Raw, it looks like his momentum is going to be going pretty good. Getting a title shot for the Intercontinental title soon. So, but
and if that slow German becomes his finishing move, I'm here for it because that thing is fucking impressive every single time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little 11 minutes and 55 seconds of everybody collecting a paycheck. They threw everybody who's everybody out there. But it's it sucks seeing a guy like AJ Styles had to do battle royals. This man should be in a fucking feud. I mean, he's kind of in a feud with Karrion Kross, but that's another.
Don't nobody want to see that shit at SummerSlam.
I know, but that's just another match, another feud that's going on that's just kind of going nowhere, treading water. They had to go back to their feud in the middle of a battle royal. But yeah.
Again, that's more back to my point. That's probably the only subplot that actually did play out during the battle royale was the AJ Styles Karrion Kross thing, because Karrion Kross got eliminated, I think, by AJ Styles.
I think so.
And then Karrion Kross came back and got AJ eliminated. So yeah, that's the one thing that actually played out during the battle royal. But other than that, yeah, nothing else. I mean, at least they did that a little bit, but yeah. Again, otherwise, this was more or less a forgettable thing. And for all you people, if you are sick of hearing LA Knights, yeah, you're going to be even more sick of it, because you best believe that thing going to be all over them Slim Jim commercials moving forward.
How do you think I'm going to do a review on a battle royal sponsored by Slim Jim and not bring back the...
Oh, yeah!
Mm-hmm. We're going to go from snap it to a Slim Jim, oh yeah, to snap it to a Slim Jim, yeah!
And every time we mention the Macho Man, I like to remind everyone that I met the Macho Man. He was the Macho King at the time.
Oh, yeah. Him and Queen Sherry?
Sherry not there, unfortunately.
Oh, no Sherry.
No Sherry. Just the man.
Just the man.
First name Macho, last name Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the Battle Royale was forgettable, but was it as forgettable as what followed? Oof. Which was the MMA rules match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
I would argue that I will never forget how awful this piece of shit was.
Yep, because that's exactly what this thing was. Fucking shit. The fact that they had to do an MMA rules match, you kind of figured they were going to do like a scripted MMA fight. But the problem is you can't script MMA. It looked terrible when they tried to execute it. Like these women were hitting each other, but you can tell they weren't really hitting each other. Like they're throwing MMA punches, but very obviously holding back. Like, oh, I'm going to punch you in your ribs. And it's basically just love tapping the shit out of you. Like, it all falls apart when it's that. Like, I don't know if WWE was fearful of one of them actually getting hurt, but some sort of legalities or something that prevents WWE from actually putting on an actual MMA match. But I feel like if they could have, they should have just been like, yo, fuck it, go full UFC in there. Y'all actually, we're not going to book a winner. Y'all just fucking fight. And whoever wins, wins. But maybe they couldn't do that. Or if you're going to, or if you can't do that and you had to script it, they damn sure could have committed a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Y'all are MMA fighters. You've been punched in the face before, legitimately. Y'all can still on each other a couple of times for real. Rather than just this, oh, we're going to grapple and I'm going to put in a submission move and you're going to break out of it. And then I'm going to put in a submission move and, or I'm going to take you down and I'm just going to love tap the shit out of your kidney. And like, this thing was just an absolute fucking mess.
You know,
and if it is, and the word is that supposedly this may have been Ronda's last match and we won't see her, at least not in any matches. Who knows if she appears on Raw tonight or anything like that, but this has been possibly her last match. So in addition to y'all's thoughts on this match itself, I want to ask y'all this question. If this is Ronda Rousey's final match, what will be her legacy in the WWE? Let's start with you, Wayne.
Ronda Rousey's legacy? I mean, it's someone who came in, she was on, she didn't go to NXT, she was on the main roster right away. And, you know, she didn't go right to the title scene. It was nice. They had her build up. They had her just, you know, just blowing through people through the roster. And then until she hits that wall where it just got a little bit harder dealing with the 4 horsewomen, you know, and then she finally got to Charlotte. That was like her peak, you know, beating Nikki Bella and Charlotte. And after that, Ronda Rousey seemed like, after Becky, like after the feud with Becky, it seemed like she's kind of just doing what she had to do, clock in, clock out. You know, it seemed like she's not really into it as much as she used to be. And, you know, the hype of Ronda, I think, is just diminished. I mean, this feud in general, I think, you know, back in 2020, back when Shayna Baszler was, like, peak NXT, you told me then, like, this Shayna Baszler versus, at that time, whatever Ronda was doing on the main roster, that was a better, idea to kick around. And they just waited so long for this, and then this feud, and then to pull it so quickly, to not even build a decent storyline. And the payoff was, face makeup getting mushed around. Lots and lots of face makeup getting mushed around. A couple hard kicks to the head, but other than that, it's just all holds. And it was very boring. Like, I think, like, the Fight Pit match, this would have been the one, because it would have made it a little bit more interesting. I mean, it felt so boring. So boring. But, in 2020, this would have been a pretty good match, pretty good feud. But it's 3 years too late.
So how do you think Ronda will be remembered in WWE? How do you think her WWE run will be remembered?
I mean, short. It doesn't seem like she's been there for a while, but she has. I can't remember when she did debut. I mean, she did a lot with the time she was here, but Hall of Fame for sure. I mean, how are you not going to put Ronda in with all the people she's put down? But if this is
okay,
if she's done with pro wrestling, I think she has something for Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, look, they put worse in the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on, real worse, guys. So it could happen.
I mean, yeah, I get she will probably go in just off the strength of her name.
Yeah.
And the fact that, she was a women's champion. But I guess the question would be, does she really, quote, deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Again, it obviously, just because of her name. But does the performance, for what it was, does she really have a Hall of Fame career in WWE from a performance standpoint? Because the way I see it, I think her legacy will be that of kind of underwhelming. It will really just be, if you could describe her WWE career in one word, I think it would be underwhelming. Like, she did come in with a whole lot of fanfare and a whole lot of hype.
Yep.
And the Ronda Rousey name really carried a whole lot of weight at that time. And you could excuse her lack of, ability in the ring in the beginning because she was making the transition from MMA to WWE to professional wrestling.
Yep.
So that was excusable in the beginning. But it seems like she never put in the effort to improve. And it's probably because she never had to, because she was almost always booked at the top of the division, always booked with the strongest wrestlers who could perform. So she never really had to carry a match. She always had her opponent who could more or less carry her through the match or could sell their ass off to whatever she did to make Ronda look great. But I don't think she ever really put in the kind of work that she should have to be a high caliber women's wrestler. Not like on the level of those who actually are wrestlers. Like, if you had to rank the top women's wrestlers in the WWE, I think she would be probably at as far as just ability, she would almost certainly be at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Just on her 10 list, just on pure ability.
Yeah, she just in a top 10s list. No way in a top 5, but a top 10.
Hell no. And if she's in the top 10, it's only on name.
Yeah.
You could arguably probably come up with 10 women in WWE who are better performers than her. Easily, I would think. But
it's like when Derek Jeter was making the All-Star team in his last couple of years. He wasn't an All-Star anymore. He was just there because his name was Derek Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
I got to dig out the fucking Yankees any chance I get.
I wasn't gonna say nothing about like, oh, you just gonna take that jab. Hey, I ain't mad at it. But yeah,
I would say for Ronda would be underachiever. Yeah, basically we echo what you guys have said. Her first run was pretty good, but then once she wasn't an unstoppable monster anymore, she was never able to pivot really. And, in the way that, The Undertaker was an unstoppable monster at one point, and then he wasn't, but he continued on just fine. Same with the Brock Lesnar, who we just talked about. Ronda was never able to turn that corner. Once the mystique she had from being the baddest woman on the planet or whatever wore off, she was done. She wasn't versatile enough to make us care about her anymore, really. So I would say her legacy is that of underachiever. As far as the match went, I did like that the referee tried to get him to touch gloves before, and Ronda offered hers. When she was fighting MMA, she never did the glove thing, so that was kind of a cool little reversal of roles there a little bit. But it was all fucking downhill from there. The crowd hated it. When are they going to learn that pro wrestling crowds want? Wait for it. Pro wrestling. You can't work a shoot fight. It never ever works. If Carlos was here, I'm sure he could tell us all about the quote unquote boxing match between Roddy Piper and Mr. T. I believe WrestleMania 2. I think that was. It was fucking awful. Like, if they were going to do something like this, I don't know why they didn't do a off-premises thing, kind of like what was it? Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart in the Lions Den match or whatever. Like you can. It would be if you can, work camera angles and edit the thing together. It might have come off a lot better because the crowd fucking hated it. Like this could have happened, in an empty somewhere, like somewhere off premises, quote unquote, so they could have edited together and tried to make it look like an actual fight. But it doesn't fucking work. And it's an MMA rules match, right? Yeah. But they're doing 10 counts. They don't do that in MMA fights. Like, there were three matches.
I mean, I'm surprised
with these kind of problems. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm surprised.
Yeah, you're right. If anything could have benefited from some actual cinematic editing, like what WWE did during the pandemic with something like what they did with AJ Styles and Undertaker. If anything could have benefited from that, it would have been this match.
Yeah, go stick him in an octagon in some gym somewhere. Film it ahead of time. You can play it off like it's happening live if you want.
Right. And then just let that shit and then just play that shit in the arena like, hey, it's going to happen here. Hell, Endeavor owns both of y'all.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Lease out the fucking UFC octagon for the match.
I will give a little credit to Shayna and Ronda, I guess, also because I think Shayna gave her a good stiff choke there at the end because Ronda fucking turned purple. So I think I think she may have been laying into that choke there at the end. And I guess, when you get two performers that trust each other, you could probably get away with that kind of thing. But why can't they get away with hitting each other with half strength punches? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It was a mess. I hope Shayna can level up from this. I'm not going to hold my breath though.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. Do y'all think this is going to translate to anything substantial for Shayna Baszler moving forward?
No, she beat Ronda. Okay, so who else is left on that top peak before we start taking her serious again? I guess just putting Shayna in that top mid card section. So she's just gonna flounder there for a bit until somebody worthy comes along that doesn't have a belt on them. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, she's not going to be beating anybody with a title anytime soon. It's like, who else is worthy that's around that's not on the injured roster? Because it seems like every week or every episode we have, it seems like we're just adding more people to the roster. Like, we we went, what, like a couple of days before we put out another episode? There's like 3 more injuries. We'll talk about that later, but Jesus.
Yeah. And I think this can possibly do something for Shayna Baszler, but this alone won't do it.
No.
Yeah, like, this match alone is not going to catapult her to being a title contender or anything like this. But this can be the start.
Yeah.
If they take this fact that, okay, she beat Ronda Rousey, and they say, like, you know, this is the beginning of her becoming the Queen of Spades or whatever it is that she, whatever her moniker is.
Yep.
And she starts to get back to what she was in NXT and that type of dominant person, then we can possibly look back on this one day and say, like, hey, it started here for Shayna.
Yeah, I mean, she's certainly going to have the chance to capitalize. Whether she can or not remains to be seen. But I think she'll definitely be afforded the opportunity.
Yeah. Hopefully they will give her the opportunity in booking to build upon this, because you know I think she can be a good performer in the ring. I think she can, like, but they just have to.
I think she's head and shoulders better than Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, definitely, without question. And again, that promo that she cut where she, you know, kind of poured her heart out about, you know, this was her passion and this is what she does and all that stuff. Yeah, there's something there to build on. They just got to give her the chance and, you know, run with it, commit to it or something. Don't just do a couple of meaningless matches and expect the WWE Universe to carry it the rest of the way. Because they've shown time and time again, if you don't give them a reason to give a shit, they're not going to give a shit. So that part falls on WWE. But we've talked about this probably longer than the actual match itself lasted. So
yeah, pretty much.
We can move on.
It was 7:25, but it felt like about half an hour.
I can't believe all the other times on the card, and they only had like 7 minutes. I guess that's all they could do. I mean,
but it felt like way longer than that.
It did. It definitely did feel a lot longer.
So yeah, you damn sure couldn't have no 20-minute MMA fight from these two. Like, ain't no way in hell.
Well, you know, part of the reason they started choreographing it in the first place is because, you know, in the days before MMA, it was boring as shit watching two guys try to wrestle each other. It took hours, you know what I mean? And it was just two guys sitting in a headlock for, you know, 90 minutes or whatever. That's why they started scripting these things in the first place. Like, we don't want to see that. We want to see, yeah, like a fight pit would have been such a better idea. Anyway, that's enough about. Let's please
move on from this feud.
Don't get me started again.
All right. So after this, we got what was, in my opinion, our first legitimately good match of the night, which is kind of wild considering we had to go 1, 2, 3, 4 matches before we got our first great match or really good match of the night. And that was the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Drew McIntyre, which I'm pretty sure when everybody saw, when this match was announced, everybody knew that we were going to get, you know, for lack of a better term, a slobber knocker. We were going to get a banger. We were going to get these guys beating the living crap out of each other. And that's pretty much exactly what we got in the match. Big, like I was like, big meaty men slapping meat. That's what they did. They traded chops, blows, power bombs. They threw everything they had at each other. And ultimately, in the end, much to, at least not to my surprise at all, Gunther came out on top, remaining Intercontinental Champion. And at least something that was, how can I say this? A bit more of a bit creative, more creative of a finish, in the sense that it's been a long. When's the last time we saw somebody, especially like a big guy like that, get racked on the top rope and that be the thing that becomes his downfall? Like, it's been a while since we've seen, you know, an old trope like that actually lead to somebody losing a match. Usually it's just, they use that, something like that as, you know, as a way to turn the tables, or they do it to the heel for, you know, comedic effect or something like that. But Drew actually going for a move and Gunther countering it, causing Drew to rack himself, and then Gunther going in for the finishing combo, which is another thing that I appreciate about Gunther. He doesn't. His finisher is probably like the power bomb, but he never does just the power bomb. Gunther always hits you with like a whole combo of shit before he hits you with the power bomb, like he did with Drew. Like Drew racked himself, fell. Gunther came off the top rope with a splash, then went from that to I think it was a clothesline, and then fucking picked him up and power bombed him. Like Gunther's like when he could put you down, he makes sure your ass stay the fuck down.
And it's like different stuff too. It's not like the 5 moves of doom that like Brett and John Cena used to do. A couple other Hogan always did the same like 4 sequence. Gunther always does it differently depending on who he's fighting. Yeah,
right. He finds a different combination to finish you off. Whether I'm gonna just slap the living shit out of you, then power bomb, or I'm gonna drop kick you into this turnbuckle and pull you out and clothesline you and then power bomb, or I'm gonna hit you with a splash, or I'm just gonna beat your ankle into oblivion and then put you in an ankle lock or something. Yeah, it's another reason why Gunther is one of the best on the roster right now. And 8 months in the year, I'm just saying it early, right now, he is my MVP of 2023 so far. But Doyle, what'd you think of the match?
Yeah, it was good. It was really good, but it wasn't great. Maybe I just expected too much. I don't know. It was as advertised. Big meaty men slapping meat, but it's kind of like we've seen this before, and we've seen it done a little better before. I'm still a fan of it. Don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't anything earth-shattering. It was really good. It's the kind of thing you show to somebody that doesn't like wrestling, and you say, look, okay, it's fake. Well, watch this. Like, these guys are going to both look like somebody kicked the shit out of them at the end. And sure enough, that's what happened. I'm looking forward to this last month of my calculations. I said September 8th, I think Gunther should break the record. I'm hoping they get Honky Tonk Man involved somehow. I would love to see him either getting ready to celebrate that Gunther's lost, and then it doesn't, kind of like the Miami Dolphins. Whenever the last team loses, they pop champagne or whatever. It'd be fun to see Honky Tonk Man ready to celebrate Gunther losing, and then he doesn't, or something.
Honky Tonk Man should be Gunther's final opponent.
Yeah, or something ridiculous.
Gunther's like 3 days from breaking the record, and Honky Tonk Man shows up like, oh hell no.
He's 70 years old, so it's possible.
Gunther just beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah, like exactly. Or like I don't know. Honky Tonk Man goes to present him with a guitar or something, and of course it gets smashed over his own head. Or, I don't know. You do not respect the ring. Something. But yeah, I mean, this is good, but it was really good, but it wasn't great. But given the rest of the card, it was definitely one of the best things on the card.
That much is true. That is definitely true. Wayne, what'd you think of the match?
Finally, we're getting some momentum in the pay-per-view. It was dragging. We had the ups and the downs of this. It started pretty strong in the very beginning. We're going up. We had the, LA Knight win the Battle Royal. We had, Cody Rhodes finish his feud. And then, we get hit hard with the waves of boredom with the Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey match. Just waves eroding away. Just my love for this pay-per-view, it was starting to have a lull, and then finally it picks up. Gunther right there in the middle of the card where he needs to be, our Intercontinental Champion, who definitely is going to be breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record for sure. I mean, 70 years old, he could probably still put on a match, or at least be involved in some way, shape, or form, right? I think he wouldn't want an easy check. Just present him with this newer, way better looking Intercontinental title. I don't know. We didn't suspect Drew to, stop Gunther anytime soon. Seems like nobody has the formula to beat Gunther. If you look on the card now, I still can't see who else we could throw at him. That's gonna, we're having Chad Gable But other than that, like right now, I can't find anybody who has the right formula, the right charisma, you know, and the worthiness of the Intercontinental title. So,
I could see him rolling it right into winning the heavyweight title and never losing the Intercontinental title and just relinquishing it.
It's right to the top.
I mean,
just riding
that
right to the top.
Yeah, at this point, that's probably a very real possibility.
I don't think that's
not at all.
Yeah.
If they want to build up, if they really want Gunther to be just this dominant ass guy, and they really want to keep that going, because yeah, you're right. There really aren't too many people on the roster right now who look like legitimate threats to Gunther.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, after he breaks the record, he could say, like, okay, look, I've done all I can with this thing now. It's time to go after the big prize. And then he goes and wins it, you know, and he's like, I don't need this Intercontinental title anymore. I am now the world champion. You know.
And then, yeah, he just relinquishes it. Like, y'all can have this now. That would be kind of fucked up to the IC belt, given how much he built it up. And then once he wins the bigger prize, he's just kind of like, fuck this belt now. It seems like it would kind of squander a lot of the work that he put in to build up the belt. So I don't know if I would really want to see that. At least not from him.
But I mean, like, after WrestleMania 6, the Warrior relinquished the Intercontinental.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I can see
maybe
if
he
it was
doesn't
like
have to throw in the garbage. But.
Right, like it needs to be a managerial thing. Like, okay, like, you know, Adam, what the fuck is his name? Page? No, not Page.
Pierce.
Anyway, Pierce, yeah. Adam Pierce comes out and says, "All right, Gunther, you can't have both titles, so I'm going to need you to relinquish the Intercontinental." Then, you know, Gunther begrudgingly does it or what have you.
Yeah, and then you can have a super fun IC title tournament.
Right, for like 3 weeks.
But where does Drew go from here, though?
Great question.
What's that?
That's a great question.
Yeah, exactly. Where does he go? You know, we kind of knew this was going to happen, but dude, now you can't win the world title, you can't win the WWE title, you can't win the Intercontinental title. What?
Yeah, I think he kind of needs to turn heel probably because ain't much room for him on the babyface front on Raw, because that's pretty much monopolized by Seth and Cody. Mm-hmm. So there really ain't much space for him to be and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens whenever he returns from injury. So there ain't much space for him to be a top babyface there. Those babyfaces kind of need some top heels to feud with other than the Judgment Day. So yeah, a heel turn for Drew McIntyre kind of makes some sense right about now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he needs to do something because his act is kind of stale at this point. He needs to change something up.
That too.
He needs to go back to being the Scottish psychopath.
Right. Yeah.
That's the heel we need. So.
Yep. I don't know how they're gonna make the flip. No. Aside from him just doing the basic lazy booking of him just showing up and beating shit out of some face.
Yeah.
Which again to me would be kind of lazy, but I mean, you got to get him healed somehow if they're going to do it.
That's what heels do, though.
Yeah, that is what heels do, but I don't know. I kind of would hope they would put some thought into it and maybe come up with something a bit more natural and organic as opposed to him just like sitting backstage and picking random babyface, whooping your ass tonight. All right, now I'm a heel. I don't know. Again, but that's just a thought. Any other final thoughts on this IC title match?
I'm enjoying now the week to week opening the entrance for Gunther just because of how much build is in it with the Ring General, like this, and just the way the announcer announces Gunther's name and all of Imperium. It's like finally entrances in general are getting cool again.
Yeah, I think I saw a brief interview with Gunther at some event where somebody asked him about how Samantha Irwin introduces him, and he said he likes it.
Yeah, And
he said he likes the way she puts that extra little emphasis and the way she pronounces it. He said that it adds a little something extra to the presentation. So he's a fan of how she introduces him.
Yeah, I mean, you think how many of these modern day entrances that we have, like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, that the fans and Shinsuke Nakamura that love to sing to the music, right? They love that shit. Mm-hmm. Well, Imperium isn't one of those kind of songs, but just the way they have their own unique way, just like the New Day, I felt like also had that kind of magic. They had their own unique way that made their entrance special. And it wasn't always singing along to their music. It has their own unique way. So
yeah, and that kind of is, that's kind of what makes Samantha Irwin as great as she is, because she has a way of, she doesn't do it with every single wrestler, but some of the ones that she does do it with, she just puts a little something extra to make it unique for each one of them. Like whether she does Ludwig Kaiser or she does the Chelsea Green, like in Chelsea Green.
That's a good one.
She just puts a little something extra on, or something unique, and some little twist on some people's names.
Keeps her ass employed, because I mean, how many other ring announcers, besides Lillian Garcia?
Nobody did it.
Yeah.
Nobody did it like what she does. Nobody does what Samantha Irwin does.
Yeah.
Everybody else just pretty much announced names and just were really good at it.
Yep.
But as far as making people unique and making certain people stand out from others, no, Samantha Irwin I think she's pretty much stands alone in that.
Yep.
And that's why, to me, she's the second best after the Fink.
All right.
All right, but looks like on Raw we got Becky Lynch in the ring cutting a promo, which their match is next week, her and Trish.
Yeah.
What? I believe so. Yeah, it's in Winnipeg, Trish's hometown.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right, which seems like an odd choice given that Trish is supposed to be the heel, but they're going to have this match in Canada, which means Trish is going to absolutely get cheered.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching this just to see if anything develops from this, or if this is just going to be Becky in the ring cutting a promo.
I think she's cutting a promo. I would like to.
I will say her hair looks nice. It doesn't look a mess.
That was awesome. She's not wearing no goofy outfit though this week.
Yeah, she's simple.
Pretty serious. Damn man, that's the one that's wearing the goofy outfits.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that like side of the head vein popping out, like she's gonna kill somebody.
Well, Becky always has those different types of moves. She wears different outfits when she's, being very heelless and cheeky. She's wearing those goofy outfits, those goofy glasses and shit. She's the man. When she's serious and she's pissed off. This is leather jacket Becky, like she's here to fight.
Somebody did come out and interrupt.
Zoe Stark talking shit.
We got dueling leather jackets.
Yeah,
I know, right?
the leather budget was through the fucking roof.
Okay, Dre, she is kind of cute.
I'm telling you, mate, y'all gotta see the light.
So what's the next match we got left? We're going into.
All right. Next match after the World Heavyweight Championship, after the Intercontinental Championship match, was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Now, I gotta say, this little rivalry, when this feud started, I really didn't have much hope for it. Like, I just kind of figured they were just feeding Finn to Seth as just a guy. But as this feud went on, I'll give it to Finn Balor. He did a good job of making himself credible as somebody who could legitimately win the title. So much so that I actually picked him to win. I thought Finn was actually going to come out on top in this match. He did not.
We're all fools.
Right. He did come out on top. So what?
I almost put money on it. I was because Finn was like plus 250 or something like that. I was gonna put $100 on it just for shits and giggles. Glad I didn't.
Yeah. Like, and honestly, I'm actually surprised that Seth won this match, given what we heard about Seth and like the nagging injuries and such beforehand, and the things that have been going on with the Judgment Day storyline and the tension between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Like, I was almost certain that all that was going to come to a head in this match and result in Seth Rollins losing the title, but he managed to come out on top and be the opportunist that we all know him to be. And the match itself overall was a good match. It actually was a good match. I think this match was better than the match we got before between fucking Shayna Baszler coming out. Look like they doing something with her. All right, but like I said, this
Shiner. She looks. I don't know if that's legit or not, but they got her all beat up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, she got a little limp to her as well. I don't know if she's selling that or if that's just
swagger.
Whatever it is. Yeah, well, Becky commented on this place. You looking rough.
I think that's a legit black eye, man.
Shayna Baszler amazingly looks even more fucked up.
Oh yeah, that's legit. That's some legit puffiness and swelling.
Yep, massive black eye.
Maybe they hit each other a little harder than we thought.
All right. I'm going to come back to the match in a minute because I'm kind of genuinely interested in seeing what Shayna Baszler is going to say and where this little trio, this unlikely trio of wrestlers in the ring, and where this is going to go.
Real quick. Did you guys see what Seth Rollins was wearing when he came out for that match? He had
that long ass robe or whatever the fuck it was.
I don't know, because maybe it's because like how much I was drinking into this pay per view. He looked like one of those big dragons you would see during parades. Dude, he was like fluffy as shit, dude. He had like this long jacket. It looks funny as hell. But that's Seth Rollins. He only wears these most of these outfits like once. And the next pay per view, it's something else. I don't know what he does with them all.
Well, he apparently saves them because he had the same vest he wore at SummerSlam. What was it, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
When he beat, or when Finn beat him, rather.
Oh, very clever.
I will admit, I was partially distracted during some of the match just because I saw with Seth's outfit.
Yeah.
And I saw the shoes that he matched. I was like, yo, what the fuck kind of shoes are those? Where the hell are they? So I'll admit, for some of the match, I was online Googling, like, TYR tire. Who the fuck are these shoes? And I looked them up and shit. Apparently some pretty decent shoes. Hella overpriced, though, but it is what it is. Apparently, I didn't see those exact shoes that he wore, so I don't know if he got them joints custom made or if they were a limited run or something like that. But either way, the drip god continued because, yeah, aside that robe was definitely kind of wild and over the top and a bit unexpected. Like sometimes he tends to do things to like troll. Well, he did do the thing to kind of troll whoever his opponent was because he had the vest that he wore.
Yeah.
When he last faced Finn. So yeah, he did do that, which was still, yeah, that robe was that was a lot. But anyway, back to the match itself. Like I said, I thought this was a good match. I thought it was actually better than the Gunther Drew McIntyre match that we had beforehand, which is kind of what you want to see in a pay-per-view. You kind of want to see things just gradually elevate and go up. So, like I said, these are two top-tier performers. We know what they're capable of in the ring, and their first match was kind of a letdown, honestly. We kind of thought we were going to get a better match the first time around. Like, what we got this time is kind of what we thought we were going to get the first time around. But looking at it in retrospect, I guess you can kind of see what they were doing. They held back a little bit the first time around to kind of leave some meat on the bone for SummerSlam. So this time around, they both really brought it, including a good amount of ring psychology and a good number of callbacks to their previous matches with the buckle bombs and Finn turning the tables on Seth and throwing him into the guardrail in the same way that Seth did him previously, which resulted in his injury. So they definitely put some thought into this match, and it showed. And like I said, I thought it was a good match. I almost wish that Judgment Day hadn't interfered in it because the match was going so good. I kind of just wanted a clean finish, but obviously we weren't going to get that.
Never goes that
way. Or at the very least, I kind of wish they would have maybe just left it to Damian and not brought out Dom and Rhea, because Dom really didn't do shit but get stole on. And Rhea did her typical, jump up and distract the referee thing. But, I guess, it's Judgment Day. You got to get them all on the show one way or the other, especially if Rhea's not going to have a match. So it is what it is. But the finish itself was probably where the story really is in the finish, at least moving forward, in terms of Damian and Finn bickering back and forth over what to do, and then Damian seemingly just throwing the briefcase in the ring, seemingly out of frustration. I don't know if he did out of frustration or he did it begrudgingly. Then going to distract the ref, and Finn thinking he's going to seize the opportunity, only to get stomped out on it and lose. And that look that Damian gave him afterwards, whew. That's going to be a meme for a while, and that's going to be an image that we are going to repeatedly see, regardless of what direction this feud goes, or these whole storyline goes going forward. Because that look that Damian gave him was you can interpret that any number of ways. I think it remains to be seen what he was actually thinking, because I kind of took it as him looking at him as, you ain't it. You're not the guy to lead us. Because that kind of, even though they don't really, they don't really act like they have a dedicated leader. Like sometimes Rhea Ripley acts like she's the leader. Sometimes Damian seems to take the forefront, and sometimes Finn steps to the forefront as the leader. It kind of, based on how they were
the leader.
yeah, Dom was never the leader. Even though he the MVP of the group right now. He the GOAT. I said it. That man putting in that work. But the way they were booked, they've more or less been booked as if Finn Balor was the alpha of the group. Like he was the top guy, because he's the one in the championship picture. But that look that Damian Priest gave him was like, aside from a disappointment, it was also like that. I kind of read into it, like I said, that look of, you ain't it. You didn't live up to it. And I think that might result in Damian maybe taking Finn out. But we shall see. But Wayne, what are your thoughts on the match?
We're going to talk about two guys who are going to keep the momentum of this fucking pay-per-view going. Having to follow Gunther and Drew McIntyre, having to follow that match. I mean, these are two guys who are going to do it, Finn and Seth. Like you said, it was a really solid match, back and forth, all the way up until Judgment Day got involved. Like, they never let you have it, do they? They let you get a little taste of it. That, hey, this might be a clean match and a good fucking one. But nope, they have to have, even with all the help of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor still wasn't able to pull it off. Now he definitely looks like the weak link in the group, right? I mean, this guy couldn't put away Seth Rollins. He couldn't bring back the world title to the Judgment Day. Damian has a briefcase. Dominic has the North American title. He has his momentum going forward, and Rhea having the women's title. But what does Finn have? He has fucking nothing now. So I think, we saw Edge got kicked out of the Judgment Day. When is it time to release Finn Balor and let him go face? Let him do something else. Because I don't know what his direction is going to be after this. Maybe him and Grayson.
Well,
as if on cue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're currently, Finn Balor is backstage talking to Damian Priest, and is that Grayson Waller? No.
Oh, that's not Grayson Waller.
Jason Dunham.
Yeah, isn't that the guy that was rumored a while back to possibly be joining?
Yeah, he's the other Irish guy. Like, Finn is like his mentor.
Yeah,
Finn was talking to him backstage a couple times, and then they just kind of dropped it for a month.
Uh-huh.
but now he's back.
Yeah, so I can see Finn getting booted out. Maybe his next feud is with the seeds are being planted for him and Damian Priest. So that could be a feud we could see here coming up. But as for Seth Rollins, now he can move on from this feud. 7 years. It's nice to watch both of those matches. If you just want to watch those matches, go back and watch it back to back. I mean, it is a nice little story. Massive fucking gap. 7 years. Leading all up to this. But I do love when Seth Rollins he's a little cheeky with his fucking outfits. He always has his unique way of doing that. But, it just sucked that with all of that cheating and having help from your stable, and you still weren't able to pull off the World Heavyweight title. It's crazy, right? You think Seth Rollins definitely would have lost as soon as the Judgment Day came out, but no.
Yeah, all that cheating and still losing is never a good sign for a heel.
Mm-hmm. No.
I thought it was a good enough match, but nothing special. Tough spot being slotted after Gunther and Drew.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was kind of a lack of great matches on this card, so I mean, it kind of didn't really matter where it slotted in, I guess. One of the rare matches on the card that felt like it was the right length of time was a little over 18 minutes, right? Didn't seem too long, didn't seem too short. I guess the Judgment Day is just going to overshadow every match they are involved in until that either the briefcase goes away or the stable breaks up or something. It's just it is kind of just getting a little tiresome. Yeah, something I think Wayne said. Just leave him out. Stay in the even for Finn to just go do the stay in the back. I got this myself kind of thing. It is kind of annoying just seeing him constantly interfere, but I guess that's what heel stables do.
Yeah.
It was good. I think some of the promos actually were better than the match itself, though. That Finn cut that one promo where it was just him staring into the camera, and they kind of played with the lighting and stuff a little bit. That was a great promo. The two of them, they were in a locker room, I think, right? And they went face to face. That was a great promo. Seth kind of dropped his little weird stick and kind of went back to I'm being fucking serious here. So it was a good feud. I think you expect so much from the two of them that it's real hard for them to give you what you're expecting. So I think they definitely fell under the weight of expectation a little bit. But
I can see that a bit. With guys of this caliber, you can almost expect a WrestleMania level match from them every single time.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Right, they can't do that because if they give you that every single time, then
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go if you do that every single time. So, yeah, like I said, I think that's kind of what I alluded to with their first match and then this one. They left meat on the bone in order to continue moving forward, and I don't know if we're going to get.
I don't think we need to see this a third time.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a third one. I highly doubt that. I think things are going to turn inward with the Judgment Day moving forward, especially with how this promo just went with them backstage on Raw with Priest and Balor basically being in each other's face with a whole lot of tension, and then Rhea Ripley jumped in to try to break it up and talk to them and tell them, we need to get back on the same page so we can continue to dominate Monday Night Raw and all that stuff. And they kind of said yeah, we're cool, whatever. But nah,
they're not cool.
Everything she said to them went kind of in one ear and out the other. There's definitely still tension there. And now they've introduced the X Factor of whoever the hell that guy is.
JD Irishman.
Yeah, JD. I'll just call him that for now until I see him enough times to remember his damn name.
McDonough or something? I forget.
Yeah.
JD McDonough or something like that?
Yep.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, seems like he's going to be I don't know if he's going to be manipulating, getting inside Finn Balor's head to cause Finn to do something, or if he's going to be like a little instigator and just pitting the two against each other until they eventually hit a breaking point, and then maybe he sees that opportunity to take a leadership role himself, which would seem kind of weird that the new guy suddenly comes in and becomes a leader of a already established faction. But I don't know. Either way, we'll see where it goes from there. It's a new element, so maybe they're taking some pages from the Bloodline and learning how to do some long form storytelling by introducing new elements and new wrinkles here and there in order to keep it interesting. But any final thoughts on the World Heavyweight Championship match?
No, I do like the Mike's Hard Lemonade ad that they do after this, though. Do you guys remember what they did? Did it involve Bianca? No, it was Alpha Academy, and they in a box, like a sound box, and they closed it, and I was just like, man, I am claustrophobic. I'd be freaking the fuck out. But yeah, I thought that was funny. You know, WWE wrestlers doing ads.
Mid-show.
Yeah, well, you're already watching.
A live commercial mid-show.
Yep.
That's how they bring that money in.
Speaking of, Bianca's entrance. Bianca's entrance was a commercial. It's just like, Jesus Christ, really?
With the C4?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sold out.
Gotta pay them bills somehow.
Yeah,
how soon when the referees have ads on their T-shirts or their shirts?
Oh, yeah.
I think AAA has the referees have an advertisement on them.
They might
any day.
Yeah, so that leads us right into what was our next match, which was the WWE Women's Championship Triple Threat match featuring Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. And this match, honestly, kind of disappointed me. This match was underwhelming. I expected this match to be better than what it was. It was because one, we know all three of these women can compete. We know they all can go in the ring. So it's not for a lack of talent. I think just some of the expectation. I think it fell below my expectations. I think some of the work was a bit slow and a little bit not as smooth as it could have been. There was a lack of polish to some of the moves that were and some of the execution, and it all just kind of dragged. The crowd damn sure didn't seem into it, which is kind of weird because at least in my opinion, it didn't feel like enough had happened on this pay-per-view to have really sucked the energy out of the crowd, at least not from my perspective. I don't know if this is a product of just how long the pay-per-view had gone up until this point. If anything, I think that may have been contributed. Some of it was just the pacing of the show overall, because this is the next to last match of the night, and we're already, I think by the time this match happened, well over 3 hours in. So
yeah, that and all the downtime, I think, didn't help. Right.
Yeah, so I think the crowd was just starting to get legitimately tired at this point. People might have been looking at their watches like, God, motherfucker, it's 11 o'clock. What the hell?
Oh, dude, I totally forgot too, how late the pay-per-view was running, because it was running so late. We were accustomed to pay-per-views being over at maybe 11, but
11:30 ish.
We got spoiled with the afternoon guys the last couple ones.
Yeah,
maybe that was part of the factor too.
Yeah,
we had
this match
1 o'clock
pay-per-view was over by 7.
Yeah,
right.
This match was 20 minutes long. And, I did like the long ramp in the arena. I always like when they have the opportunity to do, better entrances with the long ramp, having music play out more. But, it comes with a price. Entrances take forever. I mean, we'll talk about it, but the main event, the entrances took forever. Ramps were so long. But,
yeah. Like I said, back to the match, it didn't really have a whole lot of flow to it. Mm-hmm. There were good moments here and there with the women getting off some signature moves and things here and there, but it just wasn't very cohesive. It just felt like, all right, we're going to go to this spot and then get to this spot. And then, like, the execution was just really kind of sloppy. The match really, for me, didn't pick up until Bianca got injured, quote unquote, in the match.
Oh,
when she took that, she took that gnarly freaking bump on the outside, which credit to them for the angle of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure she didn't actually hit her knees on it, but the way the angle that they shot it at and the sound that we heard made it look like this. She absolutely wrecked her shit when she fell to the outside.
May have been a reference to that's the same thing that happened to Sasha almost exactly, I'm sorry, Mercedes Moné, because she just broke her leg doing almost the exact same thing. So I was wondering if it was kind of like I don't know, a reference to that.
Possibly, maybe somebody back there is really savvy and keeping an eye on the indie scene or the scene outside of WWE, and they're like, "Damn, that was a cool spot. Hey, we could use that." I wouldn't put it past WWE and their bookers, but yeah, like I said, for me, that's when the match kind of picked up because, like I said, that gnarly spot and then the way she sold it afterwards, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like for a half second, I thought she was legitimately fucked up, and then as quickly as I bought into it, I almost just quickly realized, oh no, this is fake. Mm-hmm. This is a total kayfabe injury. Because for one, if somebody's really fucked their leg up that bad, you don't let them walk out under their own power, unless their name's Mick Foley. But hell, I think they even put Mick Foley on a stretcher before. So, like the moment she was walking, especially for like a leg injury. Like, if they really put some thought into it, but they could have done this a little bit better and really sold the legitimacy or the seeming legitimacy of it. They could have had those people out there, put her in an air cast, set her up on a stretcher, carry her to the back, and then she could come out from the back, and then it looks more believable, like, okay, she's making the heroes come back in return. Not her walking, and then at one point, visibly looking back at the ring to see, is it her cue yet? And then just to come back later, like they had me and they lost me. But once she did come back into the ring and for the finish, that was the best. From there on, the match was great. She comes back in the ring and, has her heroes come back, which isn't going to do anything to quiet the Super Cena comparisons that she gets. But she still hit that 450 splash on Charlotte while she was in the middle of the figure eight on Asuka, which was a dope spot. And then I also thought it was a really great finish, which I was surprised that Bianca won the match because I honestly did not see that coming. I didn't think that she was gonna win. So when she had I'm trying to remember. Did Charlotte have her in the figure eight? Yeah. Charlotte had Bianca in the figure eight. Mm-hmm. Asuka came in, sprayed the mist in Charlotte's face. Yeah. Then tried to attack Bianca. Bianca ducked the kick and pulled her down for a roll up and got the 3 count, which I thought was, again, a hella creative finish. Right. And surprised the shit out of me. I was like, damn, they actually put the title back on Bianca. And then insert Io Sky to cash in. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. And then you pretty much knew Io Sky was going to win, and she damn sure did. I liked that it wasn't just Io coming out by herself to cash in. I liked that she came out and then handed the briefcase to Bayley, and Bayley just immediately took out Charlotte and Asuka with the briefcase and wailed on her before giving it back to Io to cash in. I like that spot. And then, like I said, obviously Io just very quickly finished off Bianca, got the 3 count, and our new WWE Women's Champion, Io Sky. I liked it. I'm here for it. Oh, what'd you think of it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, back to the entrances. That might have been the coolest mask Asuka ever had. Yeah. That thing was cool as shit. I liked this match a lot. It did suffer a little bit from what I always complain about, triple threat formula syndrome, but not terribly so. I feel like Asuka is in a ton of triple threat matches. Does anyone else? Am I crazy? I feel like she seems like she's in triple threats a lot, and she's pretty good at it. She's like pretty good with she's like a good glue person.
Yeah,
she kind of holds it together well. Yeah, she always delivers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, again, but not quite as good as I had hoped. But at least there's some freshening up of the women's division a little bit, maybe. Asuka and Bianca both legitimately have claims to the title now. We got a first-time champion. We've got Kairi Sane on the dirt sheets are saying she's coming back. Not quite sure when, but she might inject some fresh life into things. She could presumably step right into a program with Asuka and Io. If you want to have 3 Japanese ladies fighting instead of 2. Yeah, it was cool that they brought out Dakota Kai, even though she's still not ready to wrestle yet. But just for her to be there, Damage Control debuted last year at SummerSlam, so it was kind of like a nice full circle moment. I wasn't shocked that Io cashed in. I was surprised that Bianca won the title and then had it stripped. I guess she now maybe has the longest and shortest title reign in the modern era.
Yeah, but the shortest one still isn't this one.
Yeah, I guess that's
SmackDown
true.
is still shorter at 26 seconds. I think this one was a little over a minute.
Was it? Oh yeah, because it took so goddamn long for that.
For Io to get to the ring, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I thought it was fun enough. And it'll be real interesting to see where Io goes as champion. You mentioned the spot where Bayley took the briefcase. I go, here's where Bayley fucks it up. But that's not what happened. So yeah, I'm interested to see where they're going from here. It's nice to have somebody new with the belt that hasn't had it before.
Yeah.
Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, I didn't. Sorry for that. Ooh, in the middle of you talking,
Dude,
but I happened to glance over to Raw.
About too, right? It was Sami Zayn's elbow.
Right, yeah. I glanced over Raw and I just see JD McDonough stand over Sami Zayn. And he's laid out holding his arm and they closed in on his elbow. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Sami Zayn got jumped backstage and it looked like his elbow was like popped out. Like it was like a baseball. Like I was like, that's not where your elbow's supposed to be.
It looked gnarly.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm like,
I guess our Monday Night Raw is synced up because there was no delay there because you saw it exactly the same time I saw it.
Yeah, I was like, is Sami Zayn double jointed? Is he able to just pop his elbow out the socket and make it look like that, or did the spot go wrong and did he actually get fucked up when he wasn't supposed to get fucked up, or what? I don't know, but either way, that should look nasty.
I didn't even see it.
Damn.
Oh no!
I'm pretty sure they'll show it again when they come back from commercial.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Now, my thing is, are they now going to write Sammy off TV with an injury at the same time as KO as a way to get the titles off of them, or a way to take the titles out of people's mind because both champs are injured and now we're just going to act like the tag titles don't exist? Like, I don't get it.
That's going to be rough if they got both sets of tag titles held up with injuries.
Yeah,
right.
And it's right now. It's the tag title curse. It seems like they can't do anything right with the tag team division because
if they end up having to strip KO and Sammy, that might be a good way to split up the titles.
There you go.
Yeah, if they write them out with both being injured, which.
Oh yeah, yeah, that does look pretty fucking gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with KO being legitimately injured and Sami Zayn being supposedly kayfabe injured, because I guess I don't know, maybe they're like, we don't want to break you two up, and we don't. I can understand it if they don't want to break up KO and Sami Zayn yet, and they don't want Sami to go on a singles run while KO is out, and supposedly possibly him getting too much momentum as a single star to where they can't pair him back up with KO whenever KO comes back from injury. So maybe they made a decision like, you know what, if one of you's out, we'll just take you both out for the time being. But again, if they do that, if they're going down that route, that still raises the questions of the tag team titles and what the fuck are you going to do with them?
Hey, Dre. Did you know this year's SummerSlam was the most social in history, with over 230 million views and 4 million hours of video consumed?
Huh? Really?
I just knew that off the top of my head.
4 million. You said 4 million hours of video consumed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But only 1.8 of it is actually wrestling.
Right.
Yes.
That would make it probably, well, if that's the case, then that would make SummerSlam the second most popular video from this weekend. If you know, you know. That's all I'll say.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That guy, they bought him new boots. They bought that dude new boots.
Yep. But I'll just leave that right there where it's at. And we will move on to the final match of the night. And that was Tribal Combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defending against main event Jey Uso. And as I've said before, and will continue to say with this match, it's with the bloodline stuff, it's not really about the match itself. It's about the story that gets told sometime during or after the match. Because the match itself was just okay. It was an okay match. It was a good match. You know, Roman Reigns was dominant, beating the crap out of Jey. Jey getting whooped up on. Jey started to get a little bit of offense. The Romans put him back down. Jey takes more ass whooping. Jey tries to get a seemingly legitimate comeback happening and enter Solo to shut that shit down. And then because it's Tribal Combat, there's no DQ, so they was able to just go ham on Jey for a while, even taking it out to the outside, which was kind of an odd choice for this match that it went into the crowd. I kind of didn't see that coming in. It kind of seemed, I don't know, a little weird and out of place for this, that it went into the crowd, at least at this point in the match. But it happened, and Solo put Jey through a table, and some fan really got into it and felt like the world needed to hear him say "how dare you" and such to Roman, and try to offer Jey a motivational speech. And in that moment, I just kind of really wish that some other fan would have just looked at him and said, "Man, if you don't shut the fuck up." What?
Can I pitch to you guys the idea of Ludwig Kaiser versus Otis right now on Monday Night Raw? Talk about two guys who could do something interesting. Fuck Otis.
Oh yeah,
this guy.
This could potentially. Yeah, this could make for a pretty decent match. So I mean, I guess Alpha Academy is going to be the guys beefing with Imperium, which kind of leaves Otis in an unenviable spot, because I guess he has to deal with both Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens with this feud. I'm pretty sure, I don't know when Chad's supposed to get his Intercontinental title match.
They need another member of their group, you know.
Yeah, they do. Alpha Academy needs a third.
Let me kick to you the idea of Shelton Benjamin.
For what?
See,
to beat Gunther?
No. To join
as
Alpha
a
Academy.
third member of Alpha Academy?
Yeah, I could see it. But
my problem with that is that Shelton is too much of a veteran to be a underling of Chad. It's supposed to be rehashing the whole thing. Like, it made sense. He already did that when he was part of the world's greatest tag team with Charlie Haas, when they were apprentices of, seemingly apprentices of Kurt Angle's. If he goes into Alpha Academy, what role is he? What is he learning from Chad Gable? Somebody who he has way more experience in and damn sure way more tenure. Like, I don't really like that for Shelton Benjamin. Him becoming a subservient or whatever to Chad, who was obviously the leader of it. Like, I'm not with that. If they wanted to recruit somebody that maybe, I'd be more interested in seeing them maybe reach down to NXT and maybe call up some of the Chase U people.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help Shelton Benjamin out, man. You know he ain't doing well.
He's just doing the most underrated guy ever, maybe.
I've said my piece on that before, so yeah.
I'm just a guy. If I was a writer right now, that idea, Jay, you'd be like, no, we're not doing that story. That's fucking stupid. Leave Shelton Benjamin down in the house shows.
No, I'm not saying leave him down in the house shows, but at this point, I mean, I don't know how much hope there really. I mean, I ain't gonna say hope, but Shelton Benjamin's kind of at that point where he's just gonna keep going probably where he's at until he decides to just retire. It's shameful and sad. I think he deserves better. If he was going to get any type of final resurgence, maybe it would be with whatever Bobby Lashley's got going on with the Street Profits. Maybe if like Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable showed up like, oh, you just going to reform the Hurt Business and forget about us or whatever, and then they get used to basically him and Cedric Alexander get into a small beef with the Street Profits or what have you, which ultimately they would end up jobbing out to, which again I don't mind for Shelton Benjamin, but I kind of don't like for Cedric Alexander. But I don't know, it kind of is what it is. Like I
sidetracked, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Sidetracked the hell.
We're so far away from the quest. We are so
bring
far
you bring
away
up Shelton Benjamin, and goddamn it, I go on a rant because
got him down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. So back to what the hell we were talking about in the first damn place, which was the main event, Tribal Combat. Again, the match itself was what it was. The real talk of this match is what happened at the very end, where Jay had made his comeback, seemed like he was poised to win, hit freaking Roman with the spear after Roman and Solo seemingly had a little bit of a tiff outside after Roman had hit Solo with a spear earlier, and Solo was up in Roman's face like, hey, motherfucker, that spear hurt earlier. What the fuck? But again, Jay seemingly had it. He had the spear. He hit the Uso splash on top. Ready for the 1, the 2, and get your ass up out that ring. Dragged out by who? None other than his own brother, Jimmy. Et tu, Brute. However the fuck that saying goes. Yep. Jimmy turned on Jay. And Roman won the main tribal chief and champion. But Jimmy turned on Jay. My question to y'all. Why?
Yeah, tribal chief, the elders, they probably said he had to, man. The story continues. God damn it. I didn't see this one coming. Why? Why? I want answers. It seems like he just doesn't want an ass whooping, But it seems like Jimmy's always been the one to avoid the real ass whooping. It's always been Jay. Jay's always been taking the ass whoopings from Reigns, it seems like, since day one. So Jimmy always bends the knee. When he came back from injury, he bend the knee pretty quickly to join the bloodline. He didn't put up much of a resistance. So, I guess it continues. Looks like the tribal chief has him right where he wants him, right? Under his foot. So, dude, this match was 36 minutes long. 5 seconds. How long of that was entrance? Probably fucking 10 minutes solid of just entrance and pyro and more slow walking and walking around the ring before we're even having lockups, like just so much. So
I swear Roman's theme played at least 3 times.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And by this time, I forget how late it was in the night. I'm just like, I've been drinking. I'm just like, please God, let this just wrap up quickly. It was very slow in the very beginning. Very slow. It took a while for this match to pick up, but, it delivered. And an ending and a finish that we didn't really see. Weapons involved, I think. The unique one was the strap. I liked when he was whipping the shit out of Roman with the strap. I thought that was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a fucking stung. A couple table spots, but steel steps involved and what have you, and Solo Sikoa getting involved finally. It seemed like for a while Roman really didn't need all that much help to retain his title in many other feuds he's had, but Solo actually had to step in and really fucking help him. I mean, it seemed like Jade definitely had this, but will we ever get a serious, clean one-on-one with these two? I don't think so. So, are we actually going to get the feud of Jimmy versus Jay finally? Book it for Survivor Series? I don't know. But
we're certainly getting Jimmy versus Jay.
Payback.
The only question is when and for how long.
Payback. Next pay-per-view.
That's so quick to burn that.
Somebody needs payback.
Yeah, I guess. But
that is kind of my thinking as well. I do kind of think that we're probably going to get it at Payback because I don't think they can pull off a Brett and Owen thing where they were beefing and they managed to hold that match all the way till WrestleMania before they actually finally locked up and had the match.
They only had 4 pay-per-views back then also.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I don't think you can drag this out that long. I think we may get a Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania, but if that happens, it won't be their first match.
No.
Yeah.
It'll probably be maybe like the third match. It'll be maybe the rubber match. Assuming that this feud runs lasts this long between Jimmy and Jay, but that remains to be seen. But I'm with you, Doyle. I do think we're almost certainly going to get them two at Payback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think jealousy is clearly going to be the why Jimmy why. They're going to have to give some nuance to that because it kind of doesn't really make that much sense. But I did pick that to happen because somebody had to interfere, and he was really the only person. Although I thought that Solo would also turn. And it looks like he's going there, though. I'm not sure it's clear that Jimmy is back on the team because he didn't leave with Roman and Heyman. Or he didn't, and Solo didn't.
I was like, for that matter, Solo didn't leave with Roman and Heyman either.
So there's that. Put a pin in that. I'll get back to it. Another interesting choice. I saw a ringside video that a fan took of Jay crying his eyes out at ringside, and they didn't really show that at all on TV, which I thought was a interesting choice. But speaking of interesting choices, why call this this is the third match I had a problem with the Cody not getting DQ'd, the MMA match having a 10 count, and now this tribal combat match, which I assumed meant I didn't know what it meant. But here's the thing. Shouldn't interference from anyone be barred from tribal combat? Shouldn't this strictly be a mano-a-mano kind of situation? After they did that whole head touching thing on SmackDown, I was expecting face paint and war dances and torches on fire and maybe Alpha and Sika and Rikishi at ringside and something. But this was just a no DQ match. There was nothing special about this at all. And it's just why did you just give us, why even bother calling? This could have been so different. And it could have been so cool. That I think they left so much cool shit they could have done with this on the table. And it's just, no matter what they did with the match, it couldn't have lived up to what I think it could have been. Because if I'm thinking in Black Panther when they're fighting over who's going to be the Black Panther. I was looking for something like that with some pageantry, and we didn't get any of that, and it drove me fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of wish. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just they made a big point. Do the elders know about this? It was their idea. Well, why don't we ever? They keep talking about the elders. Why don't we ever fucking see the elders? Is Rikishi that goddamn busy that they can't get him to fly to Detroit? Like, seriously.
Yeah, like the only time we've seemingly seen the elders was the very first time they put that. They put the necklace on Roman.
But like, why continue to mention it? It's just like if either have the elders involved or don't. Don't keep evoking them, and never showing them. Like maybe in the aftermath of this, the elders will be upset at Roman for making a mockery of tribal, whatever. But it's just like I felt like it should have had what do they call that? The Haka. The Usos used to do it when they came out as part of their entrance.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Should have been that, and there wasn't, and it just.
I get what I get what you're saying with that. Just a brief pause for a moment.
Yeah.
The LA Knight push is in full effect because he's on Raw now, or he's appearing on Raw. So, if they're putting him on multiple shows now, then LA Knight push is in full effect, and it looks like seemingly his next feud is possibly going to be with The Miz, which is a great foil for LA Knight.
Absolutely,
both those two can work absolute gold on the mic, and Miz has shown that he can play off of fucking anybody.
Miz is incredible.
You can put a fucking stick in the ring, and Miz can cut a promo with that bitch.
Just think of the personalities of LA Knight right now, and how hot he is, and just the personality and the mic skills of the Miz. The Miz at any time he can be called up to make somebody look good, to buff them, because he is a former WWE champion. He's a former multiple Intercontinental, United States, and tag team champion, Money in the Bank winner, everything. So,
I mean, who else on the roster is a world title contender and can lose to Snoop Dogg at the same? Who can? But the range is
and they are setting the tone immediately with this promo right here, because one, it makes logical sense. LA Knight, the fast rising star, Miz, the star, automatically becomes jealous of the new guy who's rising up the ranks. Yep, and Miz just called LA Knight a flavor of the month.
Yep.
He talking that good shit. This could make for a really fun feud.
Do you guys know right now currently holding the number one spot for top merchandise sales?
LA Knight.
And he's like 3, 4, and 5 also.
Yeah.
Yep. He's one of the top sellers. That LA Knight shirt for that. I don't. Now, what duration is that? Like, do they do that month to month or week by week, or what is it?
I don't know. I've been kind of following it on like a month to month because for a while it was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and Stone Cold Steve Austin's still up there, which blows my mind.
Yeah, he's I think he was number 5 on that list. I think it was like LA Knight was 1, and Roman was 2.
NWO is up there right now. So
they're one of the top ones. But trying to remember what the order was of the last list I saw, because there were actually some names up there that I kind of didn't expect. LA Knight was 1.
Yeah,
I think Roman was 2. I can't remember who 3 and 4 were, but Stone Cold Steve Austin was 5.
Yeah,
trying to remember who 3 and 4 were though, but it weren't. I don't know. I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, but either way, like LA Knight, like him or not, he is here to fucking stay. And like the fact that they're totally disregarding the draft. Like, fuck the draft. We're gonna put LA Knight on Monday Night Raw, right? Because he's a SmackDown wrestler. Like, what now? What is he gonna do on Raw? After just weird how he's here to feud with the Miz. But
can't wait.
That's how you know the push is in full effect. When they put you on the main show, they're like, all right.
Can't wait till I gotta get my LA Knight fix on Monday.
Yep. Kind of weird he wore a blue shirt though on Raw, but
well, he's represented.
Representing, man.
So the Bloodline story, I think I called several months ago. I thought, hey, this SummerSlam circled for an Uzo in every corner match. I think that's going to happen at Survivor Series. When I originally said it, I was just kind of like wild speculation. Now I'm dead serious.
It makes fucking sense, dude.
I am dead serious. So the main event Survivor Series is going to be Jay versus Jimmy versus Roman versus Solo. Because something's up with Solo. He is not on the team.
He's not happy. No. But where does Paul Heyman go?
Yeah, right.
Tribal chief.
Now, if this starts to go stale from here on out, I think we're going to look at Survivor Series, or not Survivor Series, SummerSlam as the jump the shark moment. I don't think they've done that yet because I have faith that they're going to land the plane. But if they don't, I think we can look to SummerSlam as like when things really start to unravel. Does anyone else feel the same way? We're just so mesmerized with LA Knight.
I know.
I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of paying attention to the promo because again, these
anytime
two guys
LA
with this
Knight is on TV,
mic, I kind of want to hear what they say. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. What was your point? What was the point you're making? Pose your question again.
I'm saying if this bloodline story starts going stale, I think SummerSlam we can look back and say like, yep, that was the jump the shark moment.
That's the question I was going to ask you all. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that is the question I was going to ask because the reaction to this has kind of been a bit mixed.
Yeah,
people don't really seem to be as on board with the fact that Jimmy turned. A lot of people say like it made no sense. It was some choice, like all that stuff. So yeah, my question to y'all: do y'all think that the bloodline storyline has jumped the shark? I'm not quite ready to say that it has yet, but I do agree with you. If it does, this will be the moment that we say that it jumped the shark.
A lot of it's going to depend on what Jimmy says on Friday.
Yes.
Because if whatever he says it makes sense and is believable, okay, sure, I get it. But if it's dumb, if it doesn't come off for whatever reason, we might be in some trouble.
Yes, I'm in 100%. You're absolutely right about that. I see where they're probably going to go, at least with the storyline moving forward. It's probably going to be Jimmy and Jay beefing with each other and probably trying to pull Solo to their side. It seems like Solo Sikoa is going to be the middle person. He's going to be the proverbial piece that they're pulling. Like they're each going to have his arm trying to pull him to one side or the other because he seems to not be too enamored with Roman at the moment. And we know Roman ain't gonna be on TV no time soon. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, outside of that Indian show, maybe I don't know if we see him again until Survivor Series.
Right, we're not gonna see Roman for a good while. So this storyline is gonna be carried by Jimmy, Jay, and Solo.
Right,
for the foreseeable future.
I mean, Jimmy versus
Jay.
It
can't just be Solo can't be doing nothing. So somehow they're gonna be fighting over him.
I think
how well that. So that's the storyline we're going, but it's really up in the air on how well that's going to be executed. And you're 100% right, Doyle. It's really all going to hang on Jimmy Friday and his explanation for why he turned on Jay. That's going to set the tone for this entire feud going forward.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know what he's going to say, obviously, but if it doesn't land, they're gonna be digging a hole. You know what I mean? And like I said, I think this is. I kind of think that maybe after Survivor Series, you might kind of see Roman on his own finally, and maybe maybe he has a couple wins finally where he without interference. Maybe he has to fucking defend in the Elimination Chamber and he does it. And by the time Cody's ready for him at WrestleMania 40, he just looks even more unstoppable than ever. And that'll be even, a third head on the two-headed dragon that Cody has to slay now.
Yeah, potentially so. Because if this ends up with Roman being isolated and being a man standing on his own, it doesn't look good for Cody if Roman goes limping in to WrestleMania, barely holding on to the title. And if he doesn't have the help, if he doesn't have the bloodline to help keep him up, then yeah, you got to establish Roman as the guy is like, yeah, Bloodline may be falling apart, but I'm still Roman motherfucking Reigns.
The Bloodline story can end before Roman loses the title.
Definitely. And like I said, from there, he may not be the tribal chief, but he's still Roman motherfucking Reigns.
That's rightly said. I mean, like, we're gonna get Jimmy versus Jay, and then whatever they're doing with Solo. But I think what Doyle was saying would
make it a triple threat.
Make it a triple threat, and then leads all the way up to Survivor Series, where it's a fatal 4-way with an Uce in every corner. Dude, like that's awesome. That's the ultimate payoff for the Bloodline, right? Survivor Series. I think we can agree to that.
Maybe if you're talking about that being the final chapter of the Bloodline, where it's a fatal 4-way for the title,
and then you got going into WrestleMania, you got Roman by himself, no Bloodline.
Potentially, that could potentially be a thing. I could see that, and then at that point, the whole title of the only question I have about it is where does the tribal chief aspect of it play in? Does the tribal chief aspect just completely fall apart to where? And again, that's part of the climax of this is like, there is no more tribe, so there's no more tribal chief.
It's just Roman
and that was just
now.
All four of us beefing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like it's heading to. Nobody seems like they're on the same page anymore. I don't know who's on whose side.
So then that leaves the question of if that is where this all ends. Can Jimmy and Solo stand on their own as individuals? I think after what we've seen, I think we're all fairly confident that Jay has established himself as being a capable single star.
Yeah.
He's had the main event matches. He's performed well in them, and people are always going to have that in him. Again, he has that moniker, main event Jay, and nobody laughs at that moniker. Like, people take that serious. So he could
walk really away from outside of the confines of the Bloodline, though.
I think yes, and no. I think.
Do you believe him against Cody? Do you believe him against Brock? Do you believe him against Braun Strowman when he comes? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, he'll whoop Braun Strowman's ass.
Fair
he beat the fuck out of Braun. Braun don't want them problems. But against somebody like Brock or against somebody like Cody. Maybe not in the first match, but I could see him in the position of basically where he can get the rub from those guys and ascend. I'm not saying he walks out and he's immediately a world title contender, but I could see him. He can step up to a champion and challenge them and be credible. And that's something that Jimmy and Solo don't necessarily have at this moment. That's what I mean when I say like he's main event Jay. He's shown that he's as the performer, and I mean, the man's main evented 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah,
arguably 3 if you count tag team. With him and Jay main eventing night 1 of him and Jimmy main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania. Tongue twister. So yeah, I mean, he's shown that, and like I said, as a solo one between the 3 of them, between Jimmy, Jay, and Solo, Jimmy is the one who is the most credible in terms of going up to a champion and challenging them for their title. Like right now, Austin Theory versus Jey Uso. Who you picking?
Oh, yeah, Jay.
Jay snatching that title off his ass. Low difficulty. Yeah. Low difficulty. So Jay is already above mid-card status. At the very least. At the very worst, he's top of the mid-card.
All right, but I do kind of think back, and you as an old WCW guy will remember, every now and then you'd have Animal would face Ric Flair for the world title. You know what I mean? And you never really thought Animal or Hawk was actually going to win. And I'm wondering if the Usos would be the same way. Maybe not. I mean, certainly not Jay. I think Jay obviously, but I don't know if Jimmy has it in him. We'll see. They're going to split them up. You got to put one on SmackDown and one on Raw.
The fuck I think I saw? Yes, I did. Hey, New Day's back on Raw. Thanks.
The draft doesn't matter anymore.
Were they drafted to SmackDown?
I thought they were on SmackDown.
I don't remember.
It's good to see Kofi Kingston back.
Yeah. Yep.
Always.
Now get y'all lick back on Viking Raiders because y'all damn sure lost that Viking match to them last time y'all faced them. So get your lick back. That's what's up.
Kofi's a good dude too. I don't know if you've ever heard any interviews with him. He's such a fucking good guy.
Did you guys see released? I saw in the news recently that Big E may not be coming back to the ring anytime soon. They said doctors recommended that he doesn't wrestle anymore, and there's been talks about maybe putting him on the commentary team because right now they kind of shake things up. They're putting Michael Cole on both shows in the future.
Need more Michael Cole.
Yeah,
because I think Did it take effect this week or is it next week? Takes effect.
Right now, Wade Barrett and Michael Cole.
Okay, so it is this week. I haven't been listening to commentary yet. So Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, who in my opinion were the better commentary team, are on Raw because Wade Barrett has been doing some great color commentary work on SmackDown. So
I've enjoyed Wade.
Yeah, he has that. He comes all across as experienced without being biased one way or the other.
Let's get rid of Kevin Patrick and replace him with Big E. Done.
Well, Kevin Patrick has been replaced because Friday Night SmackDown is what? Michael Cole and Corey Graves and
he's
Kevin Patrick's still on there.
He moved him over. Still there.
But
hell yeah, Kevin Patrick can kick rocks.
I like Kevin Patrick.
He doesn't. He doesn't leave an impact or anything. He's just there.
Understand what the
Michael Cole I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say sometimes I can't understand anything that Kevin Patrick's saying.
Oh, I don't have that problem.
I never had a problem understanding him. He's never done anything like noteworthy. He doesn't stand out to me.
Irish phrases every now and then, and I'm like, oh, I know what that means. Michael Cole, though, Jesus fuck. I was very, very high praise for Michael Cole in the immediate aftermath of Vince stepping away.
Yeah.
He was great, but I don't know what the fuck has changed. But the last couple weeks or months, he's been fucking awful. Just like, oh my God, bullshit he does. It's just like, my God. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, it's like he's gotten the freedom and now he's kind of gone too far. He needs somebody to pull him back.
Yeah, he needs somebody to yell in his ear a little bit. God damn.
Hey, dude, save some for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
that's one thing that Jim Ross kind of understood. Like, there's levels. You got to temper your excitement. There's levels to your excitement. You can't act like what happened in hour one is the most incredible thing ever when we still got 2 more hours of show left.
Yeah. But I hate that they're going back to a 3-man team on SmackDown. I mean, it sometimes works okay, but I mean, think of all the great commentator teams. They're all duos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gorilla and Brain, JR and King, even Jesse and Gorilla, Jesse and Vince, fucking Bobby the Brain and Tony Schiavone.
Larry Zbyszko was with him. I was going to say that's one trio that was pretty decent. Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Larry Zbyszko.
Okay, there you go. But regardless, it's usually too many voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think WWE does a pretty good job of producing these guys, so they're not talking all over each other. But like on AEW, sometimes, Jesus Christ, they get 5 people in there. They're all talking at the same time. It's like, what the fuck? Like, somebody needs to run the ship a little tighter or something.
Mm-hmm. It's one thing to give the guys their freedom and let them, be themselves on the mic, but at the same time, you
gotta reel them in a little.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta, keep the car on the rails.
When do you think they're gonna start cutting some fat? Start firing people.
Well, there usually is a big after WrestleMania firing round, and that never really happened this year.
Yeah, I think probably once the Endeavor deal fully goes through, because I don't know if it's been announced, but I don't know if the deal is fully complete yet. It's not fully gone through.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think once that happens, Endeavor gonna get in there, look at the books, and be like, the following list of people.
You're paying Baron Corbin how much?
Right. They're like, yes. We like what you're doing. We think it's great. That's the whole reason why we acquired you guys. But we have some suggestions on things that we can possibly do to streamline the process. So here's a list of names, and we need them to not work for the company anymore.
Please wish these folks well in their future endeavors.
Right.
Number 1, Lacey Evans.
Right. I don't know. Baron Corbin might have saved his job being down there at NXT.
Yeah, that's true. He found a way to stay afloat. Within like the past few days, and like I mentioned before, we had some injuries. We had Sonya Deville tore ACL, and she just recently won the women's tag team titles. It feels like they finally got the tag titles going somewhere, and in a certain direction. It looks like the wheels are spinning. We're starting to paddle, maybe.
We talked about it. We were optimistic. Thought they had the potential to do something.
And the fucking tag team title curse, because if it's not from the guys' side, it's from the women's. Like it just sucks. And I kind of feel bad for Chelsea Green because they originally paired her up with Carmella before she got pregnant. And I think she got injured, then pregnant. Because it seemed like they were going to be a tag team for a hot minute. And, they replaced it with Sonya Deville. And she finally got some traction. Got a tag team partner, starting to dress alike. Matching outfits. Matching
yes.
Theme
very
music,
important.
like real tag team shit. Right. And, somebody gets injured now. Now, I mean, that's how it is in tag team. Like, your tag team partner gets hurt, and it sucks, but, like, that affects you. Like, that's the risk you gotta take being a tag team.
Yeah, those belts are fucking cursed.
Yeah.
God, didn't that just happen with, like, they had the plans of putting the belts on Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey earlier in the year.
Yep.
But then Ronda got injured.
Yep.
So it never happened until much later on. And then
Liv Morgan got injured.
Came up. Then Liv Morgan got injured twice as her and Raquel become champions.
And then Raquel got
causing
injured.
them to drop the belts. All right. Then Raquel's injured. And then they put them on Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. And Sonya tears her fucking ACL. Which I feel terrible for Sonya Deville because, she's been kind of meandering about the roster ever since she stopped being the SmackDown or the co-GM of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
And she finally seemed to have something that she could sink her teeth into and get some direction and, get some quality time, some quality television time. And then this happens to her. That's just, and I doubt that she's going to come back to much fanfare whenever she does come back. She'll probably just be back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So, yeah, I really feel bad for her. Chelsea Green, yes, I feel bad for her, but I feel like she'll
be all right. She's good.
She's a good enough character that they will probably find somebody else to pair her up with.
Yeah.
And probably try to just run back the same thing that she's doing now with Sonya Deville, except with somebody else. Maybe it's somebody that maybe a call up from NXT or somebody that's been meandering on the roster without much to do.
If she's lucky, she'll get herself out of the tag division because that shit ain't been right since Sasha and
Naomi or Trinity.
Since
Mercedes and Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those titles have been fucking just rudderless since then.
Hell,
anytime they think they got something going.
Right.
Yeah.
So
if the whole women's division is lucky, they'll just get rid of the whole damn belts. I mean, how many more signs does God have to give you, Vince?
So, guys, like, as this year, SummerSlam as a whole, like, I feel like it was a good pay-per-view. Could have been fucking shorter.
Oh, it definitely could have been shorter. I can tell you right now. You know how many people probably looked at that card and said, "Oh man, thank God it's only 8 matches. This thing ain't gonna last all night." Yeah, right. And they were looking at their watches after midnight, like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, definitely was too long. I was listening to another podcast today, like they were doing a SummerSlam preview, and literally one of the people on the podcast was saying, thank you, Hunter, for only making this thing 8 matches. We can get the hell out of here early. And I was just thinking to myself, like, whew, that was not what happened to y'all. I bet y'all was mad as fuck. These are people who actually went to the pay-per-view and went to Detroit and watched it. Like, I know y'all was sitting in that arena mad as shit. Like, why the fuck are we still here after midnight? But yeah, overall thoughts. I think the pay-per-view was honestly, it did not meet my expectations.
Okay.
I think part of that was the fact that so many of the matches, the outcomes were pretty much foregone conclusions we already knew. Like, we had all pretty much predicted Logan was going to beat Ricochet. We all predicted that LA Knight was going to come out on top in the Battle Royal. We all knew Cody was going to win in the match with Lesnar. Mm-hmm. We all predicted that Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey match was going to be dog shit and that Shayna Baszler was going to win. At least I think we did. I think I might have predicted Ronda Rousey. I might have been wrong on that. I thought the match was going to possibly go towards Payback, so I may have called that one wrong. But either way, we all agreed it was going to be dog shit, and that's exactly what it was.
I think we all picked Roman, right?
Yeah, we all picked Roman. We all picked Gunther.
Yeah.
The World Heavyweight Championship match, I think we all got that one wrong. Did any of us pick Seth?
Oh.
So yes, I mean, so yeah, like out of all those matches, only 2 of them had conclusions that weren't foregone, that weren't pretty much predictable from the jump. Yeah. That was the triple threat match and the World Heavyweight Championship match. So, and those were arguably 2 of the best matches on the card. So everything else was just kind of, Yeah,
it's
just kind of mid to okay-ish to good-ish. So I don't know. To me, the pay-per-view for me was just kind of underwhelming overall.
Yeah, it's these shows that we don't expect much from that turn out to be the greatest, and then the shows we get hyped for always seem to disappoint a little bit. I keep going back to the Castle one. I remember this looks okay, and it was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure part of it was because we weren't expecting much, and when you expect not much and you get so much more, maybe it seems like a better deal or whatever. But yeah, I feel like some of these last couple Big 4 or Big 5 events have been kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, think about it. If I was to ask you right now, which pay-per-view was better to you, Backlash or SummerSlam this year? For me, it's Backlash without question.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Mostly
Backlash was way better. And how often do you ever say that fucking the pay-per-view after WrestleMania is better than your second biggest pay-per-view of the year?
I mean, yeah, this is supposed to be like, it's a stadium show now, for Christ's sakes. It hasn't been until recently, but it's a big fucking deal. It's the biggest party of the summer, but it's the second biggest show of the year. It should be, and definitely underwhelming.
Yeah, it was like the biggest party of the summer, but the DJ was kind of whack.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Man, I think we did a pretty good post show for SummerSlam. I think we can. I think we should just shoot the shit, run the clock out. I mean, this main event they had Sami Zayn. Looks like he's not going to be in it. It looks like they're announcing Sami Zayn with. They're announcing right now that.
Raw. Yeah, Sonya Deville's torn ACL injury out indefinitely. So
broke by TMZ, by the way, not by WWE. We had to find
Weird.
out through
How
TMZ.
the fuck did TMZ get that scoop?
And then they forwarded it to Michael Cole. It's like, oh shit, we gotta get this on the air. I just found out now. Just found out. TMZ found out before us.
Right. Like, is that a deliberate thing? It's like TMZ reported it as WWE's again weird attempt to try to legitimize themselves as a legitimate sport. Yeah. See, TMZ reports on our stuff too. Mm-hmm. Okay, WWE.
So we got Judgment Day coming in here, and Damien's got that briefcase. Dom's got the North American title,
Is this the main event starting with half an hour to go?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
And Finn is staring a fucking hole in Damian Priest.
Yep. Nothing. No gold.
Right.
Yeah, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, right?
Are they going to go to commercial again after this entrance, and then go to commercial again after the faces come in?
Shinsuke.
I think they added Shinsuke. Did I see that right?
Yeah.
Shinsuke to this match?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe if
I think
Sami Zayn got
I think
taken out.
Shinsuke is the replacement.
Yeah.
Even though he already wrestled.
I don't.
That's an odd choice.
Him. I don't trust him. He's been a little iffy. A little heelish.
Yeah, Shinsuke's an odd choice to add.
I think I saw that. I'm only half paying attention.
No,
if anything, you think they would have added L.A. Knight? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You don't go
if
here.
You really want that pop?
You're SmackDown wrestler. You don't go here. Get out of here. Shoot. This is Monday Night Raw.
I mean, if you really want to push that man to the fucking okay, on site. Let's go.
Raquel jumping Rhea, tossing her in a barricade. Oh man,
Dom standing there like a doofus.
I'm gonna need you to hit her a little bit harder though, Raquel. Like,
yeah,
these ain't really convincing blows.
No,
Dom, it's not doing nothing, just standing there holding the gold.
Right.
Oh,
like I get it that y'all don't want. Oh damn,
Jason Jordan
kicking her face it in.
Jason
Jordan.
Jordan.
I get it. Y'all don't want like dudes putting their hands on women, but they could at least like grab them and try to pull them off.
Nope, and they failed.
Right.
They can't grab them.
Hey, it's those two.
Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae come out.
Yeah.
Because they're
they were
friends.
They were in a segment earlier with get your ass out. And you get your ass out the way.
Adam Pearce doing jack shit. So your show is out of control. You should be.
Now see, at this point, thank you. Like that's what I need. Like what you ain't finna do is just toss my ass out the way and think I ain't finna get my lick back.
I love how they send out to break it up. They send out Kenny from the Spirit Squad, Kurt Angle's son, Jason Jordan. Who else we got out there?
Ray just ripped off her shoe and tossed it.
Right, she just threw her. Like, girl, that's some quality dunks right there.
So
you throwing that shit at her like that?
They're going to a commercial break. I want to make a quick plug. The other day I watched WrestleMania 4. I had to go back and revisit that pay-per-view. That was a long ass fucking WrestleMania. I had to watch it for revisiting the Mania podcast.
Is that the one that had the tournament?
Yes, sir.
For the WWE Championship.
Yep, ended with Randy Savage.
That Savage won and Hogan threw a pissy fit about.
Yeah, we had to get the Ultimate Warrior versus Hercules. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Well, they got a first round bye, right?
Yeah.
Bam Bam was in the tournament, right?
Yeah. Honky Tonk Man was in it.
Hogan didn't Hogan and Andre get like counted out or something like that?
Yeah.
And then Hogan slammed Andre again.
I think they pinned each other or something like that.
Yep.
But
I thought it was a double count out or something because they both got eliminated.
Yeah, they both got eliminated.
Yeah, they also
I thought they had
a battle royal that Bad News Brown won by eliminating Bret Hart. And I'll tell you what, like watching that match too, the only guy in that ring who would have been worthy, I thought would have been Bret Hart. But no, they got down to Bret Hart and Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown was awesome.
Dude, he got this big ass.
Bret Hart wasn't even a Intercontinental Champion yet at this point, was he?
Oh no.
No, he got Bad News Brown got this big ass trophy, like huge. And Bret Hart like threw a fucking fit and broke it in a couple pieces. I was like, oh, come on. That was a good trophy, Bret Hart. You gotta be fucking like that. Jeez. Greg Valentine was in it. It was great hair. The One Man Gang defeated Bam Bam Bigelow. Got to see Jake Roberts versus Rick Rude. That was a good match. Yeah.
That was
one man,
right?
And the One Man Gang. That's the man who had one of my favorite names ever for a finishing move. Didn't he have the Ghetto Blaster?
Yeah.
Yep.
Got to see,
I always love that name for a finishing move.
Beefcake versus the Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart. Peggy Sue. A lot of, what's crazy is like I'm watching this old pay-per-view from what year it came out? 1988. Just how many of these wrestlers are just no longer around? Just like dead. Oy, Hulkster still running wild, brother.
Yep.
This also took place at Trump Plaza, so like you got to see Donald Trump like many times in the front row. Donald Trump has some good fucking seats. Yeah. Attendance only 19,200. And what did we have this weekend for SummerSlam?
59,100 and some change.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, but you know what? Forbes Field had WrestleMania 23, and they had almost 90,000 for that.
Yeah.
Wait, I have it written down.
Was that Ford Field? I didn't think Ford Field was built yet at that time.
Yes.
For 23?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, WrestleMania 23. They had 80,000. But like, how do they get 20,000 more people from WrestleMania? That I didn't understand at all.
I don't know. I guess it just depends on how
it's set up, I guess.
Yeah, how they set up the arena.
Yeah.
I mean, but like WrestleMania usually have like a whole end zone blocked off basically with the stage. And this, they had the 360 kind of thing, which I like actually.
But then again, you know what? It's WrestleMania, so I could see them configuring the arena to pack in as the maximum capacity.
They had a lot of floor space open, it looked like.
Yeah.
From some of those wide shots.
Yeah, whereas this one, it's SummerSlam, like it's a major one, and wrestling is in a boom right now, but I can see them still, wanting to hedge their bets and like, yeah, we're doing good, but let's not try to push it too much. Because they sold 50-something thousand. If they would have opened it up to 80,000, I don't know if they would have gotten 80,000 in here for SummerSlam. And then that might end up looking bad on their end if they can't sell out like 80,000, but they only sell like 60.
Uh-huh.
And they got like 20,000 empty seats that they have to try to fill in.
Do you guys know where Payback's going to be next?
Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
I love Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I wonder how many fit in there.
When is Payback? What day is that?
September 2nd.
The 2nd.
Yes.
Okay, so that means 2 weeks after that, because Raw is actually coming here to Norfolk on September 11th, and I'm thinking of attending that show. I got a homegirl here who works in the indie scene in wrestling, and she said she might have a hookup on tickets for me. So
really?
Maybe. So if she can get me the hookup, then I'll probably end up being able to go for free, essentially. But if not, I'll probably look. I'm probably still going to try to go anyway. It's just a matter of whether I can go for free or if I buy a ticket. But I'm probably going to try to go.
Best wrestling is free, right?
My favorite word is comped.
Yeah. Like I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't want to spoil nothing, but apparently she got a homie in the company that might be able to hook it up. Something. Speaking of which, that's something we can talk about. Have either of you two watched the American Nightmare documentary on Peacock?
I haven't. No. It looks pretty good though. Just saw the video package I've seen of it, but I haven't watched it. I'm interested though.
Have you watched it yet, Doyle? Yeah, it is Shinsuke Nakamura in this match. Weird choice. You have not?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm the only one then. I did watch it. I have watched, I think maybe all but like the last 5 minutes of it. It's actually a really good documentary. Yeah. It's very good and very comprehensive. It covers Cody from beginning, from childhood, all the way to, I think, at least through WrestleMania last year, where he lost to Roman.
Right.
And it's comprehensive, and it obviously has insight from a number of other wrestlers, from Hogan, Diamond Dallas Page, and again Triple H, obviously, and another people. It's a very well done, well produced documentary. And
doesn't Triple H call AEW a secondary
promotion? Yeah. That seems to make a huge. Honestly, I think people blew that up way out of proportion. Like, did he call it a secondary promotion? Yes. But at the same time, what do you expect him to say? He's with the WWE, and whether y'all like it or not, the WWE is the biggest game in town in the world of professional wrestling. So to them, everything's a fucking secondary promotion. Yeah. He called New Japan a fucking secondary promotion, even though New Japan is probably, arguably, but maybe not, as big or bigger than WWE in Japan. But who knows? To them, everything is a secondary promotion. I don't think he meant it as like saying, like, man, fuck them, they ain't shit. But to him, they are a secondary promotion. And sorry to some of y'all AEW stans, it is. AEW is not WCW. AEW is not competing with WWE the way that WCW competed and beat WWF during the Monday Night Wars for 2 years. They just not on that level. They are.
Weeks to be exact.
Huh?
I said 83 weeks to be exact.
Right. Like, they did that. They competed they went toe to toe. AEW ain't going toe to toe. So y'all might not have liked that he called them a secondary promotion, but quite frankly, that's what they are right now. They are secondary. They may be number 2 here in the States, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's a distant number 2. They're doing their thing. Props to them for it. I mean, they're selling the fuck out of Wembley Stadium here in for their All In pay-per-view show coming up. I think they've sold like 70,000 tickets. So, I mean, not to take anything away from them. Props to them for that. And I'm pretty sure WWE is absolutely paying attention to it, because I think as it stands right now, they're set to have the largest sales, or the biggest. They're going to be the biggest wrestling show ever held at Wembley Stadium. They're going to surpass WWE's what was that, SummerSlam that they did at Wembley?
Too, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to surpass WWE, and I'm pretty sure WWE's not going to like that. So
it's going to be one of the biggest wrestling shows of all time, period.
Right.
Especially when you remove the shows that people were forced to go to at gunpoint in North Korea.
Right. So, I mean, with that being said, props to AEW for that. But if you think the WWE is just going to let that little record for AEW stand, I don't think so for a second. Damn sure not Vince. If Vince got anything to say about it, this may be the thing that pushes WWE to hold WrestleMania in London.
Yeah, maybe.
Like if we get a WrestleMania in London, you can look at this AEW show as a big reason why. Because whatever AEW does, WWE will be like, I bet. Watch how many motherfuckers we pack in this bitch for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And they will try to blow that little 70,000 number out the water. If they can get 90K in there, if they can get 100,000 people in there for WrestleMania, they will do it.
They had 80,000 for SummerSlam 92.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that was a SummerSlam. And that was in 1992. Imagine what the hell a WrestleMania could do in 2025 or 2026.
Yeah.
Shit.
Let's see.
So, yeah. But anyway, back to the documentary. It was really good. And if you're one of those people who wasn't really paying, like me, who didn't really pay much attention to Cody's first run in WWE, like you knew about it, but you didn't really know all about it like me. Like I was aware of Stardust, but the legacy stuff and the dashing Cody Rhodes, a lot of that stuff I missed out on. Like I wasn't watching at that point. Like, and even the Stardust stuff, I wasn't really watching. I just
you were
knew about it because maybe I probably happened to tune into like a random episode and saw it, so I was just aware of it.
Right.
So it provided a whole lot of insight into that stuff and into Cody and where his head was at and how he was feeling about it at that time. And honestly, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, because I do recommend both of you watch it. But it's very interesting and informative, as like I said, in terms of where he was at, where his head was, especially during the Stardust time. He really talks about that a lot. And one thing I will say is fucking props to Brandy. She is a fucking rider. She is a rider. She stuck with him through all of that shit and had his back all the way through. And it's kind of they tell the story of how the two met, and that's kind of funny as well. But yeah, it's a very good documentary, and I hope that this isn't the best compliment I can give about it is that I hope this isn't a one and done thing. Like, they did this for Cody. I want to see this quality of documentary for other WWE superstars.
Okay.
I don't want this to be a thing that they did just for Cody, just to, proverbially force him down our throats, or just to further hype him as a top face in the company.
Right.
This needs to be something that they do for other stars. Like, I want to see something like this for Roman.
Drew McIntyre.
Where they talk about him and he gets to talk about his time in the Shield, and you get some commentary from Seth, and he gets to talk about his time when he battled leukemia and the comeback and how he felt about the crowd turning on him. I want to hear about all that shit. So I want something like this for Roman. I want something like this for Seth. Like, this quality of production should not be limited to just Cody Rhodes.
That's one thing WWE was always good at, in like one way, shape, or form. Whether whoever they give it to is like, WWE does awesome fucking documentary series.
Mm-hmm.
When they're not doing goofy ass shows on their network, when they just do just hard documentary, like, they're fucking good at it. They make anybody sound good. So yeah, I'm down for it. They need more. It sounds like you learned a lot about Cody Rhodes, especially in his his legacy days and his god awful Stardust days. And they also talked about once he left WWE and his time on the indie circuit and that stuff there. I gained a lot of respect for Cody for what he did on the indie, because that was stuff I wasn't aware of. I didn't know about, and how much he really fucking grinded on the indie circuit, and how much he built himself up. Even though he was a guy who was already a established WWE star, he really kind of had to build himself from the bottom up through the indie circuit. Now, was it...
And up all the way to the... they talk about the All In show that they did in Chicago that led to the creation of AEW. They talk about that as well, and I mean, I have a ton of respect for him for what he... for that stuff.
Was it
for what he did then.
A solid documentary, or was it like episodes?
No, it's a 2-hour doc.
Oh, okay, 2 hours. That's pretty good runtime.
Yep.
Quick update. I just checked WrestleTick's Twitter account 3 days ago. They have 78,000 sold for All In, and they're averaging about 200 something a day still.
So they damn near sell out, because I think 80,000 is.
Yeah, I can't remember what I just said SummerSlam was. But it looks like they're definitely in position to surpass that. It says the current setup is 84,000.
Oh, wow.
So about a little under 6,000 tickets out there, supposedly.
Yeah.
From what I understand, this Twitter account is pretty good.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is without a CM Punk match announced.
Yeah, I mean, there's really only one match announced, as far as I know.
I think they started to just...
MJF and Adam Cole, my birthday twin.
Yeah, I think they may have started to announce some few matches, and probably have sold out this much. And I think there's been some talk that they may announce a CM Punk match just to help push it over the edge, over the top, to being a full sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna get pretty fucking close. It looks like if they don't get there. So that's certainly impressive, but that's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Or so far, anyway. Once in a company hood. I mean, like when they come to Philly, WWE plays at the Wells Fargo where the Sixers play, and AEW plays where Temple plays.
So how we talked about Jay and Jimmy possibly facing each other maybe at Payback. If you want to look at what's between Payback and Survivor Series, there's a little pay-per-view called Fastlane, and that's where we could see something with Solo Sikoa maybe involved, leading up to the next pay-per-view, which would be Survivor Series. I mean, pieces are all falling there. It could happen.
Yeah, but then they also have that big Indian show, which we don't know.
When is that?
We don't know yet. I don't think. I'm guessing it's going to be like the Saudi shows were at first, where it's just a Bizarro Land kind of glorified house show. you know, the Saudi shows are full blown storyline stuff now. They didn't used to be.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that India will go through a similar process if it's a successful show and they keep having them. Maybe they will turn into, real pay-per-views. The only thing is, like, you only have 12 a year. You know.
Yeah, it looks like they're shooting for Friday, September 8th. Superstar Spectacle.
Yeah, so I think that's just going to be a glorified house show.
Well, it looks like they're going to start pushing some indie guys. I see that Shanky is coming back. I don't know. I don't know where they're throwing him.
Yeah, Punjabi prison set.
Yep. Oh, God. Where the hell they been anyway? They were on Raw, looked like, I think it was Raw, like every week, and now they're just,
Yeah, following the draft, they were all over the place, and now they're... Well, maybe because they stunk. So they stopped putting them on TV.
Oh, it's about Jinder Mahal and his minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it seemed like they were kind of trying to build those guys up for that eventual
so bad.
show in India, and then that just died.
I like the gimmick. They reminded me of the bad guys from Temple of Doom that are down in the mines enslaving all the children.
The problem was they had a look to them, but what made them indie? What was it? What was the difference between them and the Viking Raiders? Basically the same thing. Big guys who just maul people. Okay. We got one of them. How you want your big mauling guys? Irish or Indian? I mean, that's the problem. They have the look, but
Viking Raiders are not Irish, by the way.
Oh, well, whatever they are. Viking. Well, Viking or Indian. But again, it's the same thing. So,
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Other than putting them against each other.
I'm looking at wrestlers like on the roster. I'm like, where have you been and how are you still signed with this company? Alberto Carrillo. Yeah, a lot of these wrestlers, like, they're signed to the roster, but I haven't seen them for a while.
They're probably on that show that we don't ever talk about, Main Event.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
yeah, that show.
Lacey
yeah, I mean, like, Xia Li.
Yeah, Xia Li, where the hell's she been?
Right, which I feel like she's incredibly underutilized.
Oh, yeah.
She's every time I've seen her in the ring, she looks good in the ring. She can perform in the ring, but they don't ever seem to do nothing with her. And she has the unique thing of being the only Chinese born or Chinese women's wrestler on the roster, whereas Asuka and Io are both Japanese. And also a little touch of news. Apparently, who did I say? Karai?
I think so.
Kairi Sane.
Yes.
Is apparently set to return to the WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she'll probably immediately be featured in some prominent role, whether they reboot the Kabuki Warriors, which given the current state of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, if they really want to try to salvage that shit, that could be the thing that they do.
I didn't even think about that shit. The Kabuki Warriors? Oh, God.
Yep, they could damn sure do that because they are so desperate. But I'm almost afraid of them to do that because they might, them cursed ass belts, one of them two will fuck around and get injured.
Yep. Can't believe how much time they're getting for this main event here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, given with entrances and all these goddamn commercial breaks, it does. Yeah, it was a full half-hour slot.
The cocktail thing took a while.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like Rhea got a nice little scar on her back from that, like a little mark that kind of rubbed some skin. I still don't understand why the fuck Shinsuke Nakamura was the one they chose to put in this match. I guess this is maybe a part of their attempt to continue to push him, I guess, but I don't know. It seemed like for a while he was leaning towards possibly them turning him heel.
He beat Bronson Reed. Yeah, he did seem like he was...
Yeah. And then they just immediately pair him with the top two baby faces on Raw. Okay.
I can't believe like you can still buy on the front page when you go to shirts on
WWE.com or shop.com, you can find Austin 316 right on the front page still. You know, the classic Kevin Owens shirt, another 316. What? Another one of those shirts. There is some LA Knight shirts here. The classic Latino Heat. I want to buy a new shirt. And, you know, I really want to get myself an LA Knight shirt. And you scroll all the way to the top. Although, right now, if I refresh it, 3 top sellers, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and LA Knight. But LA Knight is the only one with next business day shipping. Yeah. And the real chief. Okay. And you scroll down a little bit, then you get a little bit of Cody Rhodes. NWO still in the top 10 shirts being sold. I can't believe there's still NWO shirts going around.
Of course, some of those things that become just a part of pop culture are forever going to do numbers. Austin 316, NWO, those things are pop culture.
Hulk rules.
Yeah, or just a classic Hulkamania shirt. Things like that are always going to sell.
The Macho Man with the glasses, the purple shirt with the sunglasses. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's a Cody Cutter.
And there's that
Crossroads.
Terrible ass finisher.
Yeah.
I have a classic DX shirt.
Oh, Sami Zayn came out and did something with his fucked up elbow.
Yeah.
Now see, Shinsuke Nakamura had no part of that finish.
Well, maybe
he got stole on by Dom and was out for the rest of the match. Cody got tagged and they ran the whole finish without one lick of Shinsuke Nakamura. But now he's sitting there standing in the ring like he did something. Man, if you don't take your ass to the back.
Oh, we're gonna have
turn on somebody. Turn on somebody, Shinsuke.
I know. What was gonna say? We still
kick one of them motherfuckers square in the face.
2 minutes. Do something. God damn it.
He's gonna have a good guy smoking peace pipe to end the show.
Smoking peace pipe, man. That's the Indians, man. That ain't Asian, Japanese.
No, I wasn't saying. I wasn't trying. I was just meant
I know. I'm fucking with you. I mean, honestly, if anybody up there smokes weed, I wouldn't put it past Shinsuke.
Yeah, he likes to serve. Yeah, I guess
not put it past him. Y'all just gonna shake it up. Somebody turn on somebody.
All the good guy. Oh wait, Seth and Cody. Wait a minute.
John. Still John.
There's tension.
Y'all was cool.
A bitch.
I thought y'all was homies.
There's gonna be some slapping going on. Poor Sami Zayn. He's gonna get.
There's always still some tension there. Say nah, fuck that, fuck that, nah. Shake my hand, bitch.
All right,
cool. Yeah.
Oh.
A little aggressive.
I thought you slapped him there for a second.
Now is that? See, I don't know that it would seem weird that they would put their top faces against each other at this point in the calendar year.
Yeah, but you know what?
This could just be obviously they're always gonna have some tension with each other because of that trilogy that they had. But this could just be.
Here we go.
Boom! There it is.
This Shinsuke.
Lay his ass the fuck out.
I love him. He's so weird.
Damn right.
Well, how long has it been since Shinsuke's been in the main title scene?
I'm here for it.
Been quite some time.
Sucks that ain't nobody gonna sing his entrance theme no more, but I'm here for it.
Oh, dude, we're gonna get the heel Shinsuke music. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it because I know you can't sing to it because they put in a bunch of rap. Oh God.
I don't care. I'm here for it. They dropped this motherfucking ass. Just to see Shinsuke in the main event picture. We know he's not going to defeat Seth Rollins for the title at whatever pay-per-view they face each other at, but I'm here just to see how it goes. Cool. Shinsuke, I mean, Seth is probably going to have to do all the mic work for it, but I'm here to see. I'm here. Let's see what the WWE does with this feud. Let's see how they do it. Do they just phone it in, or do they actually try to give us a reason to give a shit about it?
All right. Well,
no Drew on this show. No Drew McIntyre at this episode of Raw.
Oh, man, he's embarrassed.
Oh yeah, how about that?
He's gonna go away for a hot second.
Come back as a heel and lay somebody out.
True. Doyle, do you want to plug anything?
I swear that this week I will have a new blog up on the website. I've just been busy. I apologize. Coming this week, new Doyle's Diatribe. I promise. Other than that, I'm just in the Discord and right here on PCW.
Dre, you want to plug anything, bud?
Again, nothing of significance. Again, I don't have anything major going on at the moment, but again, you can follow me on Instagram at D_R_more757. Otherwise, you can find me in the PCW or PCL Discord as always.
Cool. And you know what? If you haven't, get to our website and leave us a review. We had a couple of reviews to read last week. I know there's some new people out there. Take the time. Give us a 5-star rating. We'll read it out on the podcast here. I also want to make a plug for revisiting the Mania. So that Carlos that we have on here often, that's one he was been doing. He just wrapped up WrestleMania 4. I watched one on his YouTube. That's where he goes live stream. So if you want to interact with the WrestleMania that he's been watching, you want to chit chat, ask questions on the site, that's the place to do it. But we also have a little section too. So, if you have a question for the Macho Man.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
Just go to our website, and at the bottom, you submit one. We'll read it out on the podcast. I got nothing else to plug. I'm leaving for a road trip tomorrow, driving to Missouri. It's like 17 hours in a car. So we got plenty of time to listen to a bunch of other wrestling podcasts out there. I'm going to just dip my toe in some other things, see what other people are doing. Just make some friends.
Yeah, well, remember the ones that I shouted out last week that I plugged? There's like I said, again, shout out Jobber Tears, Those Wrestling Girls, Black Wrestling Podcast, Color Commentary Podcast. In fact, I know Jobber Tears just dropped some episodes, but yep. Shout out to all the of them and all the other wrestling podcasters out there.
I love the sound of Jobber Tears. That's great. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty good. They're based out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, they just recently held an indie show.
Really?
They call it a Jobber Slam. They just held. This was their third annual one.
Damn.
Like an indie show that they actually do. Like one of the guys on the show is an actual indie wrestler. The woman who co-hosts the show with them, she is the I guess the owner or chief proprietor or CEO or whatever you want to call it of the whole thing. And so yeah, like they doing some big things up there. If I was closer, I would have loved to gone up to New York and checked it out. Apparently, from what I've heard, it was actually a really good show. A lot of people really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah, and I mean that's something I'm going to try to start doing, at least around here locally, is try to attend more indie shows whenever they're nearby. Because again, I have a friend who works in the indie scene, and and why not? Every wrestling is bigger than just the WWE, and a lot of these superstars that we see later down the line, they start off on the indie scene, and it's always good to see a show, see some entertainment, and potentially network with other people. So yeah. And when I was at the BlurredCon earlier in July, one of the panels, that was one of the things that a guy in that panel really, really emphasized was, investing in some of these people on the indie scene. getting invested in them before they come up. Because yeah, if you think about a lot of the guys on the WWE and AEW and all the big brands, the ones who kind of have some of the most dedicated followings are those guys who came up through the independent scene. It's not always necessarily the homegrown talent who comes in and immediately gets pushed to the top. Sure, you have your Bianca Belairs and your Bobby Lashley's and your Roman Reigns who are the homegrown talents who come up, but for every one of those, you have the Seth Rollins, you have the Cody Rhodes, you have the Kenny Omegas, and all these other guys who, the AJ Styles, and these guys who built their following through the indie scene, and those guys who followed them from there all the way to the top. So yeah, it's something I'm gonna try to make an effort to do more of. And if I do catch a indie show in between episodes, I'll be sure to talk about it here.
The more you know. Yeah, I like your nice long little rant there. But yeah, see you guys at Payback.
His name is John Cena. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Ruthless.
No, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye. Have a great time.